Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I can take this crap from seeing to believing. Got it through the blood and the donkeys bleeding.
Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea's Perspective. Welcome back to another show on Chelsea's Perspective. This time, we will not be talking transfers, except if anything, we see anything as serious. This time, we will try, to take on a very, very difficult task. Why do I call it a very difficult task? Because it is very difficult to correctly predict Thomas Tuchel's starting 11. But that is exactly what we're going to try to do this evening. So good luck to us. But the truth is, I am confident that, with some help, that we should be able to do it, because I'm concerned anyway. I have for once nearly correctly predicted Thomas Tuchel's selection. But the man, when you think player A starts, he starts a player B. So good luck to all of us while we get in the show. When I come back, I will go around the chat to find out how all the people are doing. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Even though it is not a transfer show, we still keep it interactive as always because everybody gets involved in the show. I'm going to start by going through the chat. We don't have too many people. That makes it easier, but it doesn't matter. We still keep it that way. Big up Cucurella and Panel says, Lamb, I hope you're doing well. Nice to always see you. You're always one of the first to make it every time and every day. So thank you again for finding the time to join us. And also Phantom of Many Topics says Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 0. I watched the game. I don't think anyway, I'm not going to go into it anyway because we're here to talk Chelsea. And SW6 says, yo to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. TT is indeed building a wall. Yeah, we've talked about that before. Maybe he's building a replicating Fort Knox. We don't know. But we'll see what happens. Whatever he's building, I'm all for it as long as he's backed. Who you got? Cuckoo or Chiwo? It's a difficult one. I don't want to go into it right now. As things are right now, I take Cucurella anytime, any day. If you do a research, you'd see he had nearly, I think, around 500 plus balls into the box, more than the legendary assist master himself, Kevin De Bruyne of Manchester City. But that's, by the way, we will get into that in a bit. Let me see who else we have here. Julius Amor says, big up, coach. Liam Lane, and just saying hello to everybody there. And we have Milton, I'm not sure what the name, how to pronounce your name correctly. Milton Mason Olin, maybe. Also, you think Coco will play left center back? Again, he's capable of playing there, which means if Thomas Tuchel needs anybody, to fulfill that role for him when it's a shortage of personnel, he will be the most likely to be called upon, to play that role. So, but that's, by the way, as you're coming in, please, while you're coming in, keep liking the video. The more you like the video, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and the more people will get to join us, and the more fun it will be. So I'm going to go straight away to DJ Sab. DJ, big up, brother. Thank you very much for finding the time to join us. I hope you're doing well.
Hey, big up Cucurella. What's going on? I'm good, bro. I'm good. It's always good being on your show. And big up to everybody in the chat, by the way. Looking forward to a good stream. I'm sure we're going to have again tonight. And
very late for you, but I'm sure we will have a good show.
It's all good for me. It's all good for me, mate. It's all good for me. I'm glad to be here as always. You know that. Always good to come and help you out. and be here as
Yeah, thank
always.
you. I appreciate that, brother. Hopefully someday I'll be able to do the same for you. Again, the first visual says the team that played Udinese might start. There might be some tweaking there, but we'll get into it. DJ, what I want to talk about, first of all, again, it's not been a good hunting ground. Goodison Park has not been a good hunting ground for us. So in the past, you could say 3, 4, 5 years now, or how long, I'm not sure. But even when we won there, it's usually always a struggle. And it looks like it's gotten worse under Thomas Tuchel. Because the last time we were there, we didn't play well at all. So we got what we deserved again. Yeah, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, you've hit the nail right on the head there, Cucurella. It's 100%. For some reason or another, I mean, whatever manager Everton seems to, I think even under Big Dunk, I mean, we seem to have, I think when Lampard was our manager, I think he seemed to have got one over us as well. Obviously, we thought with Thomas Tuchel being our manager last season, it was a late game. To be fair, it was a very late game in the season as well. And for some reason, like Thomas Tuchel said in his press conference, they beat us. They beat us as well last season as well. So look, we've got to put it right. I think this time it's a fresh start to the season. Hopefully, the players will be fresh. We go to Goodison Park, obviously with a victory under our belt after the win against Udinese. We've just got to now carry that on against them, and I do believe we can do that tomorrow. We're more than capable of doing it, and I do believe we've got the players to do it and the manager to do it. We just got to go out there and show it, mate. So I'm a bit more confident about tomorrow. I just hope we can put on a show the players will put on a show for the fans and for everybody that's going to be watching at home.
Yeah, although I don't have Chelsea Everton head to head, but the stats I have here, let me see if I can open it quickly. So they've scored. Where is it here? Everton have scored 8 goals in their last 5 matches. Yeah, we've also scored. Right. We've also scored 8 goals in our last 5 matches. But I'm looking for the head to head. Usually, it is somewhere here. This is just the probable lineup. This is not what I believe will start tomorrow. But we'll get into it again. They have a few injuries. They have that is 2 of their, you could say, recognizable strikers out. They have what's his name again? Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Solomon Rondon. He's lethal in terms of air ball. Again, Andrew Townsend is also a dangerous man, but he's not a striker. Here's the thing: as many people would say, maybe it was safer having Dele Alli there. I'd say, to me, Dele is more unpredictable than Dominic. That's the thing. And Dele, he's always he seemed to play better whenever he plays against Chelsea Football Club. I've learned that over time since his time at Tottenham. What do you think, DJ?
No, agreed. For some reason or another, I don't know what it is with Dele Alli. He seems to, he usually goes under the radar. But generally when he comes up against Chelsea, I don't know, he just seems to he seems to always have a good game against us. I don't know if you sometimes wonder if he's actually trying to put on a show so we sign him. Funny as that sounds. But
that's very possible. That may well be the case. You don't know.
But, yeah, you don't, as the saying, but it's just one of those situations where he seems to be one of them players. This is what I'm talking about. It's about inconsistency. He's one of them kind of players who we know. See, the thing is, when Dele Alli first came onto the scene, I thought it was a terrific player. He was brilliant. He was brilliant. And then for some reason or another, he went to Tottenham. He started well at Tottenham, and then for some reason, his career started drifting. He wasn't. You can
say, to be specific, under Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, under Jose, I don't know, for whatever reason or another, Jose didn't have the trust in him. As we all know how Jose manages his top players. If there's a certain player that he thinks is not up to scratch and it's not part of what he wants, he'll just basically make you realise that, and the player's out the door. I think we saw that a lot. I think we saw that in the Chelsea situation when, for some reason or another, he decided to get rid of the likes of Mata and Oscar. Not Oscar, but Mata. For some reason, he decided to get rid of Mata for some reason or another. When before Jose, he was actually one of our best players. So he tends to have one of these situations. And again, it's the same situation with Dele Alli. For some reason or whatever, it didn't fit into his plans, and he never played him. And they obviously sold him on. He's obviously now at Everton. Obviously, he's trying to resurrect his career. And again, but one thing I'll always say about Dele Alli is that, but as we've just discussed, every time it comes up against Chelsea, for some reason or another, he always puts on a show against us. So I'm that tomorrow either. I've got a feeling he's going to be doing that again tomorrow.
He scored 2 headed goals against us. I remember when he was still playing for Tottenham against players that are way taller than him. That's to show you again. I think that's, you could argue he has that confidence, and I think Frank knows that. So probably I'm not surprised by this probable lineup here, because this is just a probable lineup, and they had him in the middle. I think if Frank is well aware, if he's well acquainted of Dele Alli's, performances against Chelsea Football Club, he will most definitely start him. And here's the thing again, he makes good runs behind opposition defense.
100%.
If you can get him the ball 9 times, you can say, just to be safe, 7 times out of 10, he'd put them in the back of the net. So that's why I'm saying I'd rather Dominic Calvert-Lewin play than Dele Alli, because Dele is unpredictable. For Dominic, you know what he's going to do. Or for Solomon London, you already know his biggest strength is aerial balls and all that. But we'll see what happens. We'll get into the show proper. Let me try and catch up with what we have in the chat because the numbers are going up gradually. We have a fun with again, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name there. After watching Arsenal, Matter Crazy, it looks like it's something you know.
No, it's just the way it's just the way you can see it. Matter Crazy.
Okay. He says, after watching Arsenal play against Palace, I feel confident they were lucky against us in the preseason. They did not play that well. All we need is energy against them. They targeted 2 of our midfielders, and it was by design. They targeted 2 of our midfielders during that friendly, and it worked. They couldn't. Again, they did that. They couldn't do that well against Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace deserved more out of this game, at least a draw.
100%.
Exactly. The second goal was unlucky from Aguehi and all that, but we're not going to go into the game. We're here to talk about our beloved club and not Arsenal Football Club. And here, Chama Yusuf says hello to everyone in the panel. Hello to you too, Chama. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join us this evening. Always a pleasure to have you around. Long time. It's been a minute. It's just you missed 2 shows. Usually we don't see you that much during Blue Morning Show, probably because you're at work. And Milton Mason Olin says, boss, do you think Cuco is playing tomorrow? We will get into that. It's not something, it's difficult to say. DJ is here, and I know probably given how quickly we moved to get him registered, to be ready to play tomorrow, that's a chance. But we'll talk about it deeply, why we think he would start or not. Here we have Chelsea OG says, how's everyone doing? We need to score 3 tomorrow. We need to win convincingly. Because correct me if I'm wrong, DJ, was that the only game we played against a Frank this past season? It was, right?
It was the only
because
game. Yes,
he was hired late in the season.
Later on afterwards, the first game.
So he'd be coming into this one with high confidence, thinking 100%. He knows how to play against us, and that's when Thomas Tuchel surprises you, because I like that about him. When you think you know him too well, he switches up things, and that's why I say good luck to us correctly picking the lineup, because when you think player A starts, he starts player B. That's Thomas Tuchel for you, and he never changes. His unpredictability is something I like about him so much. Any news? I have been too busy. I understand, Chama. I know you probably must have heard we've signed Cucurella. He's joined us, and that's a big one because he's such a fine creator in terms of the crosses he whips into the box. So again, I think he's an intelligent player overall. But we get to see that. I know you're well aware of the signing of Chukwuemeka Akani. Chukwuemeka, he's 18, but he's brilliant. He's got some talent. So we'll see what happens. And Julius Amor says, I'm not quite sure Alonso is going to feature in tomorrow's game. We'll talk about that. When we talked about it during the Blue Money show, there were arguments that we wouldn't want to risk him getting injured, and Barca will pull out, say they don't want him anymore. At the same time, if Thomas Tuchel feels like Cucurella isn't fully fit and Chilwell isn't fully fit, and he doesn't have anywhere else in the club, in the team to play in that position, he may well reach out to Barca and say, please, let's have him play this one game for us. Clubs do that. But that's, by the way, EPL is back. Big up, Blues. Kachila DJs, big up to you too, Mikhail. Nice to see you here, brother. Again, I hope you're doing well. And he says, Chile and fit. He and fit, not just fitness also, even if it's fully fit, there are other things. It's not about being fully fit after returning from a long-term injury, such as the one he had. Other stuff are very, very, getting to play with your teammates again, and then gradually, muscle memory is important. It's not about fitness overall. Chelsea OG, thank you very much for that donation. I cannot thank you enough. He says, keep up the good content, bros. CFC for live, 4-0 tomorrow. I hope so. If we score up to 4 goals tomorrow, I'd take it, but I doubt it'd be up to 4. If it is, I'll take it, honestly. The good thing, one thing I'm sure is that we'll have a fluid attack tomorrow. And when that happens under Thomas Tuchel, goals do come from all angles as long as we're putting away the chances we create. So again, thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate that. But also, I usually say this. I know you've been here. I think you've been here before. You don't actually need to do that for me to read your comment. But thank you. I'll take it. So DJ, coming back to you, what type of game do you expect tomorrow? Given they've made some signings, haven't they? That's a player. I recall he wanted to sign for Chelsea Football Club, but wasn't successful. I think he ended up signing the player for Everton. I'm not sure if he's on the pitch there. Is it Mikolenko?
Mikolenko. No, I didn't see.
I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so.
Right to sign him. Yeah, go ahead.
They have signed some. I'll be honest with you. I've not really followed majority of Everton. I know they've done a couple of. I was watching on Sky Sports though when they were going through the transfers. There are a couple of transfers they brought in. I think one of them's Tarkowski from Burnley. I think the defender. I think he's coming. I'm not sure. I think he's one of them that's coming. And I'm not sure. There's someone else as well. There's a couple of others. But I think is it Tarkowski? I think he's the big name one so far. I'm not sure of any other one. I don't know. But yeah, listen, what kind of game we're going to play? Look, I think Frank Lampard he obviously if you heard both managers' press conferences today, you would have heard what Frank Lampard said in his press conference. He was more or less just saying that was it yesterday's press conference? Sorry, it was yesterday's. In fact, he was actually saying that he knows what kind of a team we are. Obviously, he knows. I think he's got a rough idea of what he's going to do against us, but he also knows it's going to be it's going to be a tough game, and he's not going to say the game's going to be obviously not going to say in the press conference the game's going to be easy, but I've got a feeling he knows tomorrow will be a tough game, and I think he'll know what our weaknesses are. But having said all that, with Thomas Tuchel now, I think what I liked about Thomas Tuchel and what he said was he knows we lost last season there, and he's obviously going to do everything in his power to put that right tomorrow. So there's obviously going to be some kind of things. I don't know whatever formation that TT will play tomorrow, but I think Frank Lampard will obviously try his best to ruin the party as he always will do. So I do believe Lampard's up for that game tomorrow. I think for me, generally for me tomorrow, he will try and get. I think it'll be one of those ones where he will try and hit us on the break, or he'll try and get a what do you call it, a quick goal, whatever he might try to do. He'll try and find a way of scoring quickly against us, even if it means taking out. Because more or less, we're going to do most of the running tomorrow. I think he'll try and see that, and he'll take advantage of that. But I think he will obviously be up for it because obviously he knows the team well. He knows how we are. So I'm still going to say it's a tough game tomorrow. As I keep saying now, I believe we will win tomorrow.
Yeah, I still do believe we'll win tomorrow. It will be a good start to the season for us. And I think Frank Lampard, he sounds a bit cocky for me. Again, here's the thing. If there's anything he knows, it'd be, let's say, first, he knows to target alone, what's his name, Jorginho, if he's on the pitch. Yeah. And 2, he knows it's going to be a tough game. And he knows, 3, he knows Thomas Tuchel is unpredictable. If those are the 3 things I think he knows. Other than that, he cannot say that's the best way, to play against us. Even Pep wasn't sure, but Pep picked up the most important thing that he should do when he plays us was just to press us strategically and press aggressively, because we found it difficult to play at the back when you press us like that. I don't think he knows anything. He's just, again, I hope he's overconfident and comes into the game feeling like he's going to win this one, and then he gets the surprise of his life, or from Thomas Tuchel. I think I've read a few of these, and again, maybe it says maybe Emerson will play though. Emerson is also, isn't he in talk? He's in talks with Lazio.
Yeah, he is in talks with Lazio and Alonso. From what I understand, I've been seeing a lot of comments about Alonso now. From what I understand, Emerson obviously is in talks with Lazio, and Alonso apparently is back in talks again with Barcelona. They're trying to get a deal done. For me, I wouldn't put Alonso in this game tomorrow, not because of this whole Barcelona thing, because I do believe if he's our weakest link in that Chelsea setup, and if he gets Dele Alli on him. I've got a feeling Dele Alli will give him the runaround, and we know what Marcos Alonso is like. If he doesn't get the ball, he'll commit stupid fouls and give stupid free kicks away. So for me, I hope he doesn't start Alonso tomorrow. If you're looking at obviously Chile's not fully fit. For me, I would probably if you can get Cucurella in there, depending on how fit he is, I'd put him in there tomorrow.
We will get the lineup. But if it is for Dele Alli, if Alonso starts like you're saying, my concern will be Iwobi. He was quicker. He will intentionally take him on. But let me catch up with the time so we can come back in again and then look at the lineup immediately. And I agree with you. I think Frank's plan will be to get the first goal. Because already, even without conceding, we'll play a very high-risk game. We'll play a high line. And usually our focus is I haven't seen us play with, you could say perfect balance under Thomas Tuchel, which was why we lost a game that we were leading 3 goals up at Madrid. If we played with balance, paying attention, yes, we want to score, but at the same time, we have to be, cautious, defensively. I think I haven't seen us do that quite well under him because I still argue if it was Jose Mourinho's team that led Real Madrid 3-0, 3-0 at the Bernabeu, they will not come back. But then again, we played without balance of paying attention. Again, being sure was safe defensively and also scoring more goals. But that's, by the way, again, let me try and catch up with the chat and now we'll start building the lineup. And again, hopefully they don't score the first goal tomorrow. So maybe Emerson will play, though. Like I said, I think he's been in talks with Lazio. I'm not sure where we are with that right now, but we'll see what happens. As a fantasy league code is N0. Okay, 34. Okay, given some. Okay, if you are into that, please look at what he has on the screen. See, you'll say it in the chat too. Again, thank you very much for that. Chelsea believer Frankie de Jong would join them over Manchester United, and talks have been held. Chelsea have also made more than one bid for Fofana, and Chelsea believe he wants to come. Again, we'll talk about that tomorrow when we'll be talking transfers. Right now, we want to try to predict Thomas Tuchel's lineup. Maybe after that, we will take some time and talk about transfers. Let me highlight that comment. By the way, big up Cucurella, big up DJ, big up to you to Dios. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. So DJ, let's get into it. We already know between the sticks, there's no question who starts there.
Mendy,
there's no question who starts there. And I'm sure people in the chat agrees too. If you're in the chat and you think otherwise, you think anybody else starts, rather than Mendy, you let us know. It's an easy one, actually. Again, I know everybody believes that. Even though he's not been in great form, given that Kepa Arrizabalaga is on the verge of leaving, and even during the preseason, we could see that Thomas Tuchel trusts Mendy more than Kepa Arrizabalaga. Kepa started the first preseason games, but there are games during the preseason you thought maybe Kepa would play, but he didn't play. Okay, let's come centrally, DJ. Who you think starts centrally here?
Centrally, for me, it's going to be in the centre. You want to name the whole back three, mate, or just
no? Let's take it one by one. Before even we go ahead, I think it's likely we'll play a 3 at the back formation. What do you think?
Yeah, 100% 3 at the back. Do you want me to start when you choose my play? Do you want to go from the left, or do you want to go from? How do you want to do it? From the left,
where do you want? Whatever you want to start.
Okay, in number 3, where you got to play for, I put Koulibaly there.
Yep, I agree with you. And if you're in the chat, let us know if you think the same. I think he starts there. I think he's played there 2 times during preseason, and he was, I think, let me say, to be specific, the one again he played up was against Udinese. Yeah. That's one I'm sure where exactly. I can be sure that was where he played. I think Cooley starts there. Maybe the only time he plays centrally would be if what's his name? If Thiago Silva isn't in the game, then you see him play centrally. If you're watching again, we have 86 people watching and we have 34 likes. Let's try and get it to 100 likes by the end of the show. Yes. DJ says smash that like button, people. Keep doing that. So DJ, so we agree it's him here. And centrally, who would you play centrally?
It's going to be Thiago Silva.
Okay, I know everybody in the chat can agree. If you think otherwise, let me know. When we get if we get to where I think we'd use a poll, I'll use a poll. But right now, I don't think a poll is necessary right now. And for the right-hand side,
now this is where it's going to get interesting. It's between two for me. Obviously, it's going to be between Aspie and Chalobah in there. But I've got.
Let me go ahead. Keep talking. Explain. Let me ask people in the chat because that place. The reason it's a tricky one. You could say in recent games, Chalobah looked a bit shaky.
Yeah.
I think Thomas Tuchel will take that into consideration. So as long as I think what's his name? Even though I don't like his ability really. Aspilicueta is still available. I think his stats. I'm not sure. But you go ahead with what you're saying, brother.
No, I think it will be Aspie because he'll celebrate. It'll be a 2-year celebration of his contract starting tomorrow's match. So yeah, I believe it'll be Aspie tomorrow.
Do you think that Thomas Tuchel would actually say, "Okay, you start today. Let's celebrate your new contract with this"?
No. I'm just saying it generally, bro. Yeah, I'm just saying. I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
No, I get. I was just kidding. Yeah.
I know you are, bro. I know you are. I think it will be Aspie tomorrow, bro. I think it will be him that will start tomorrow.
But I have to say, I think Chalobah is better than him. It's just that overall, Chalobah has looked a bit shaky for me. Maybe he tried to do too much. I'm not sure. Maybe because it's still preseason. I'm not sure what to say there. Let me catch up with the chat, and I'll come to Ty. Ty is
big up
talking.
Big up to you, bro.
I'll put up the poll. To get the opinion of the people in the chat who they think will start on the right-hand side. If we had, like Fofana right now, we just say Fofana. But he's not here yet. He says Koulibaly and Cucurella hopefully starts tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Liam Lane says Koulibaly, Silva, Aspie. I think so too, but we get the opinion of everybody in the chat. Ola Sheni, Satunde, my Niger brother, says Koulibaly, Silva, and Aspilicueta. Okay, Koulibaly, Silva, and Aspie as back three. People are saying the same thing there. Aspie and again, Aspie any day. Okay, people don't trust Chalobah, but Chalobah will be his sub. Wow, people don't trust him anymore. Yes, again, people keep liking the video. So tight, you can comment, but more importantly, how are you doing, brother?
I blocked out today, so I'm doing better now.
Other than that,
I mean,
when you say blacked out, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Everything okay, bro?
I fainted. I nearly died.
Why?
Really?
What happened, bro? Why?
No exaggeration. I nearly died.
Oh, what?
What happened, Ty?
I had a heat stroke.
Damn, bro.
Oh, is it that hot?
Yep.
Wow.
Yes, but anyways, I don't go too.
Thank God, man. I believe in God, so thank God you're fine.
Yeah. But I so far I agree with what you guys have right there. I mean, I would start Aspie as well as the right centre back.
Yeah. Why? Just look for a fight with you. You have to explain. You can't just kill us, Ty.
Yeah,
I have two reasons. One is a personal reason. And the other one is like how I was hearing DJ say, but probably not in that wording to say that to celebrate it, but like I don't really know how to explain it in terms of the word to use, but like I don't even know what to say. Aspie signing that contract, to go say okay, we have our captain for a couple more seasons, so let's start him. Let's see him start the campaign for us, the new season. So I think he probably starts. And my personal reason is because right now I don't really trust Chalobah. I mean, he's still young, so I'm not gonna say that he's just not good enough. I just right now he has a lot of mistakes in him, and he's been. But
those things are, I know those things are very common with people at this age.
Yeah, players at this age. And although Aspie has been making some mistakes as well, I I'd rather have more experience there as well. And I mean, somebody who has some understanding of Lampard's game. Because we all know that Lampard's team is a high press team, trying to get the ball off you, force you into mistakes. And I think it will be press resistant in terms of that. So hopefully that is the case. But I would just start Aspie for because I don't really trust Chalobah at the moment because he's been making a lot of mistakes, especially in pre-season. So it would not for me. I don't really think that it's the safest thing to do. But I mean, he could come off the bench because we may utilize the 5 subs if I'm not mistaken that it's being allowed.
Yeah, again, that's going to be really helpful for managers. Again, makes the players. I think he helps make them safer. If anybody gets burnout will be rare if you utilize the spaces very well. Again, DJ, you wanted to say something?
No. Everything what we've just discussed, what Ty's even said as well. Yeah,
Okay.
It's not I don't have trust in Chalobah. It's just I don't think tomorrow is the game. Especially with the mistakes he did do in pre-season, I just don't think Tuchel will risk him tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think he'd risk it. Again, for the Paul right centre back position, again, Azpilicueta has 79%, only 21% at Chalobah. So we're moving from that. I'm going to just plug it in and then catch up with the chat. And so let me say Azpilicueta. I like spelling his name fully, because it took a while before I started spelling it correctly. Again, Chalobah will be a sub. Yep, I read that. Greetings, says in live, no limits. It's been a while, brother. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know that you're fine. Nice to see you again. Let me see. It says Marlon Sarr out of the question. I think he is. He's actually in France right now, according to what Ty told us yesterday. I'm not sure. At the back of 3 has to be the oldest in the league. Oh. It just occurred to me. Yeah, I think that's a very good point there. But probably one of the best, if you ask me. Aspie is good. I think, again, what I don't like Aspie, 2 things actually, but one-on-one is good. But aerially, I don't trust him that much. And then also, I don't trust his ability on the ball. But overall, he's a fine defender. And that's what you see in those that are good going forward. Usually they lack to a certain measure defensively. But that's, by the way, I hope he starts. Again, I'd start him over Chalobah. Says Aspie all day. Yeah, same thing. We're saying the same thing. Maybe if Ivanovic, yeah, go get him for us. I'd start him there anytime, any day. He's good aerially. He's not the best on the ball either. But he can defend, he can move with the ball, and he can score too. Yes, bro, he makes too many mistakes. I wouldn't say too many right now, but we're paying attention to it probably because of his age and all that. Again, I am doing great, Cucurella. I hope likewise. Yes, I can't complain, bro. Thank you so much for asking. Again, we have 123 people watching, and we have 46 likes. Let's shoot for 100 likes by the end of the show. So if you haven't, take a second to like the video. Thank you very much for finding the time to join the show. And Tobias says Pulisic would be a class in this system on the left of an attacking 3 and Mount a CM, but that's not the case. This is still 3 at the back. This is still 3-4-2-1, or maybe in the final third, close to final third, that's the chance it is 1-2 and not 2-1. But that's, by the way, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Just worried about our pace and transition with that back 3. Not actually the back 3 is the issue. I think usually the 2 6s are the ones that slow that is our pace and transition. Even in most cases, when we have the opportunity to counter the opposition, usually we would pass it around too much and slow down. The opposition regroups and then are able to stop our attack. But that's, by the way, DJ, where would you like us to start? From the 2 6s, or should we start the wing back positions?
I don't mind, bro. Whatever you want to do. I'm not fussed. You can do the 2 if you want to do the 2. If you want to start a wing back. I mean, I know who my wing back's going to be straight away on that right hand side.
Okay.
I think I don't know anyone else going to do.
Okay. Let's go to this one, DJ. Who would you start here and why?
On the right wing back.
Left wing back.
This is this is the other one. Now, I'm not sure how fit Chile is. I would put him in there, but I don't know how fully fit he is personally.
In terms of fitness, and in terms of fitness, I think he's fit. But there are other aspects, like Thomas Tuchel explained, not just about being fit, able to run 90 minutes. No, there are other aspects. But go ahead with what you're saying.
I think because we got Cucurella in before we could register. I think registering before the game tomorrow. I'm hoping Cucurella starts in that game position tomorrow, and I choose him over Emerson and Alonso because you already know I've already said what I said about Alonso. Alonso for me, he's one of those players that I feel if he's challenged, he's one of those ones they'll be targeting tomorrow, and I think he could just make too many fouls for me, and I want us to win this game no matter what tomorrow. So if Cucurella is fit and he can start tomorrow, I'd put Cucurella in there.
Again, you made a point that I think you can argue that was the reason. They made sure that the whole thing was completed on time and registered him. I think, who was that talked about that in the morning? I don't know if it was Rodrigo or Ty. Were you the one in the morning that said probably the reason why they made sure he got registered just in time to be available for tomorrow's game will be to involve him?
Rodrigo and me.
It was Rodrigo?
And me. We both mentioned it.
So, but do you really think it starts? DJ thinks it starts.
I based on the information I received, I think he will.
Yeah, it looks like he will start because and we learned that he actually trained with he was part of the Brighton preseason until he handed in a transfer request. So probably he's been training too. Yeah.
I mean, I know before the deal was complete, I do believe he was apparently in Spain. I don't think he had been. I don't think he was even at Brighton. From what I understand, he's been spending most of his time in Spain. So I don't know if he was doing any kind of his own personal training in Spain. I don't know. But like Ty, like what I've heard as well, I've heard it's possible. I've heard that he's going to be starting tomorrow. So I've got a feeling that's why they've registered him at the time they've done it in. And I think he will be starting tomorrow much.
I think the argument makes sense given that Emerson is talking. He's talking with to Lazio because he wants to leave.
That is Cucurella.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and Alonso is talking. Okay. Alonso is talking to Barcelona because he wants to leave. Again, so he's the only option. And with Malang Sarr, he isn't available. Ty, you told us he's in France, didn't you?
He was in France.
So we're not sure what's happening now because it's looked like as if we didn't want to sell him until we bring in somebody.
Was he in training?
I didn't see his picture in training. I don't know. If you're in chat, let us know if you saw Malang Sarr during training. Again, I'm not sure. But again, why if Cucurella wasn't going to start tomorrow, why go through the process of making sure the whole thing was completed and then get him registered just in time to be available tomorrow? So I'd say him, but we'll see. The person that does in the chart thinks, 54%. The closest is Chilwell, 33%, and I don't think Chilwell will start. So now Liam Lane is saying he saw Malang Sarr in training.
Oh, he saw him, did he? Okay.
He saw him.
So that means that he's back then. Was back then in time.
Yeah.
So we again, and I didn't have him part of the poll, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. What are we going to do about that? I'm not sure now, honestly. It is a tight one because Thomas Tuchel seemed to trust him, even in high-profile games. Maybe it's not if the focus is the attack tomorrow, but defensively, I think he trusts him because he's actually good. But I'm not going to go that into argument right now.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ty? Still Cucurella? The poll thinks a Cucurella, 51%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The remaining. Yeah, go ahead.
I just think that the fact that they were rushing to register him like that just gives an indication that he's going to be playing.
Yeah, I agree with Ty on that as well. I agree with Ty on that, Cucurella. I think the fact that they did get all this done beforehand, I believe he'll start tomorrow. And the thing was, I don't know if you guys have seen in on the Chelsea fifth stand up. Have you seen him in training? He looks good in training. From what I'm seeing the clips of.
Did they show a video?
It's on the Chelsea. I've got it on the Chelsea Twitter page. On Chelsea, go to the Chelsea thing. Look on there. They're showing all video highlights. They're showing all sorts of training sessions in there, and he's in there as well. Cucurella.
I only saw two clips of him in the competition where they have the player in the middle and they're trying to win the ball and then him making passes. I think there might have been some updates. I don't know. I just saw some. It might be the same ones. I don't know. But I kind of saw some other more footage on him. But maybe it might have been something. It might have been the same things that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I saw pictures. I didn't see any video. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to catch up with the chat. I'll come back to the panel and welcome Mikhail to the panel. It's been a while because he's a very, very busy person. So I'm glad to have him on the panel today. Mikhail, how are you doing, brother?
Doing great. How are you, Coachella? How are you guys?
I can't complain, bro.
Hey, my goodness me. Big up, Mikhail. How are you, bro?
Long time I haven't heard that voice.
Exactly, mate. It's been ages.
Yeah, I've not heard that voice in a long time.
Yeah, you guys.
I think we should celebrate it actually with wine, maybe later.
No, you guys.
I have mine in the freezer.
Yeah, I've got mine here as well.
You guys have nerves of steel. I just haven't had the guts to come on during transfer season.
Mikhail loves this club so much. Again, I was fearing him joining the panel when we haven't made so much progress in the transfer market because he was going to tear down the house.
It would have been Rant FC.
Mate,
I know, because I was following your tweets.
We miss your opinions, Makar. We miss all your opinions, bro. Trust me. Everything you come out with.
I bit my tongue for the whole summer. So now that the league's starting again, I was like, okay, what the hell? And to top it all, Coachella's doing an evening stream, so I had to jump in just to say hi at least.
No, it's great seeing you back again, mate. Chatting to you again.
Yeah, again, thank you very much, Mikhail, for finding the time to join us. I cannot, thank you enough. I know how busy you are. Let me try and catch up with the chat. I'll come back to Mikhail. Again, have him, look at the formation and the people we already have in the lineup to see if he agrees with us. Just worried about our pace and transition. I've read that. It says, what about Reece James? Again, we'll get into that. We're just on the left-hand side at the moment. We haven't touched the right wing back position. I'd say Alonso will start in left wing back. It should be his last game. Maybe he can say goodbye with a goal and put Lampard in the mud. That is if Thomas Tuchel understands the history between the two men you just mentioned. Again, if he was somebody like Jose Mourinho and he knows he's not in good terms with Frank Lampard, he'd use that opportunity to say, okay, this is the opportunity to say goodbye, in a very good way. You score against them, celebrate however you want. I could see Jose Mourinho doing that, but I don't think Thomas Tuchel will have the time for that. I think he'd start a Cucurella because why go through the whole stress of getting the whole thing completed on time, just in time for him to be available for tomorrow's game. Says Ben Chilwell be used before Cucurella. I don't think so. Ben Chilwell, his feet in terms of running for 90 minutes and all that, but muscle memory and how else do I phrase it for you to understand what I mean? He hasn't played with his teammate. He hasn't played, competitive football for a while. Even though during preseasons, Thomas Tuchel didn't give him enough time, probably because of it. And he said he doesn't want him to feel that pressure of, I forgot how he phrased it. Again, less pressure on him, I think, will be good for him, his recovery. Says Chilwell, because Cucurella needs to adapt. You cannot just throw him in already. Maybe the next game, we'll see. Again, there's no telling what Thomas Tuchel does. When you think player A starts, he fields player B. It's as simple as that. He's unpredictable. Rico63 says, evening cannot wait till tomorrow night under the lights at Goodison Park. Looks like, okay, he's an Everton fan that comes here every now and then. Let's see what happens. Good luck to you, but again, more good luck to us. I think we're winning this one, buddy. Liam Lane says, I never trust Alonso away from home. I haven't actually looked into it that much. All I know is that defensively he's poor. But going forward, again, he gives us more. I said the player 8 for every game is Alonso. Cuckoo needs 2 more training to start. Tuchel cannot start Cuckoo too early. Okay, let's just bring Mikhail in and get his opinion. That's not the guy we're looking for. We're looking at this guy here. So, Mikhail, your thoughts. Do you agree with the players we have as the back 3 players there? 1 second. I think it's this one here.
I'm trying to find it. Yep. Aspi, Silva, Koulibaly. I can't argue with that because that leaves room for some wingbacks, some pure wingbacks to take the field.
Mm-hmm. How about this guy here?
Cucurella?
Mm-hmm.
If he's available and if he's up to the challenge, I'd take a punt. Maybe play a half with him. Maybe I don't know if you start with him or bring him on, but why not? Why not? I think players are coming from pre-seasons wherever they're coming from, so they should be building up to speed. It's worth a try, but I don't see him playing 90 minutes necessarily. So
even if he gets to play.
Even if he gets to play, yes. Probably. I don't think anybody's going to get 90 minutes in that position because we just have too many players available or not available.
And most especially if they do a lot of running, that's a chance to they share it between 2 players. Have one plays the other half and the other player plays the other half.
I mean, there's always the chance that Chilwell gets a run and just sees it through. I haven't seen Chilwell much in the preseason, so I'm not sure what kind of fitness he has.
Yep, I think he can run, but there are all the things to consider. He's been out for a while, but that's by the way. Let me catch up with the chat and I'll come back and we'll go to the right wing back position. Ty, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. I was seeing something about Alonso asking Tuchel not to start him against Everton.
Where did you see that?
On Twitter. I'm not sure true this, but I was seeing something about Alonso has asked Tuchel not to start him or to play him. Is it a start or play him against Everton? I don't know.
That means he's on his way then.
Possibly.
We were hearing that he was close, that the deal to him with Barcelona is close. So you never know. Maybe it's going to be like what happened with Tammy Abraham, although it's not really been confirmed like that.
Okay, that may well be the case, but there's no way to confirm that. Again, let's catch up with those in the chat. The poll picked picks Cucurella, 58%, 30% Chilwell, 7% Alonso, 6% Emerson. Wow, that's not nice. Okay, now that's by the way, we have 159 people watching and we have 56 likes. Let's try and get it to 100 likes by the end of the show. Burger King Yummy. That's one name I like to say all the time. If they cannot, again, we're not talking transfers right now, but I'll highlight that if at the end of the show we still have a bit of time, then we'll talk about it. It is late, very, very, really, really late for some people. Again, let's see what he says next. Here he says Chelsea should compose themselves tomorrow. Composure is important. A balance in approach is important. We must not focus focus everything on the attack. We must be defensively cautious. Otherwise, they're going to hit us and get us on a break because Frank knows that. I'm sure he knows that quite well. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. He says, I cannot wait for Chelsea to surprise everyone tomorrow. Everyone is doubting us. Maybe that surprise you're seeking is not. Let's get into, let's say, 4 or 5 games into the season. If we keep winning, then it's a surprise to them. On paper, we're supposed to win tomorrow's game, actually, if you ask a lot of people. It says Cucurella is a sub tomorrow. We'll see. None of us knows what Thomas Tuchel will do tomorrow. 5 new signings in this window. Hope for new strikers. Hope for new striker due to DCL out for 6. Dominic Calvert-Lewin out for 6 weeks. Ty, I want to ask you this. That's a player they signed. I think you were the one that talked about it. That Lampard wanted to sign for Chelsea Football Club, but didn't succeed. But he signed that some player for Everton. What's his name?
Tarkowski.
Oh, okay.
The defender.
How good is he?
That's the one. Yeah, I was saying the same.
Oh, what a question!
He's the left centre back guy here.
Yeah, he was at Burnley. I mean, he's one of the best defenders that they have. But I mean, he's not the greatest player. He's made a lot of mistakes. He scored a lot of own goals. Oh my gosh, man.
That reminds me of former Manchester City defender that scored quite a lot of own goals. Again,
basically what Ty's trying to say, Cucurella, he's not Chelsea levels, mate.
Yeah,
and to God be the glory that we did not go and sign him.
Just like Lewis
here's
Dunk.
the thing: every player ups their level once they see Chelsea. And to Frank Lampard, this is a derby. Even though they are a Merseyside team, but because of Frank, he would want to win this one to show, it's a human thing. But that's, by the way, let me catch up with the chat. Again, let me see here. I understand that Premier League is on another level compared to other leagues, but paying that kind of money for any average player like Cuckoo is crazy. You call him average. If AC Milan signed him, you wouldn't say he's average. How about I know that? But that's by the way, we like him. He's come to us. He's a Chelsea player now, Habert. I love you, brother, but get over that one. We have him. Stop complaining about the transfer fee. It's our money, okay? Leicester City boss Brendan Rodgers. Again, we're not talking transfers right now, please. We don't want too much distraction. Once we're done building the lineup, again, I'll come back to some of the comments that I've highlighted. Maybe then we'll have time enough to talk about it. Cuckoo should start. He will not disappoint. Watch out. I want him to start too, but people think he shouldn't start. Too easy to start at Cucurella. Okay, we have more people here. Cucurella is like Salah as a defender. His quickness as a defender is unreal. Yep, I know that. But what I like him to play closer to the final third, given his abilities to put good crosses into the box. I prefer him playing there rather than the left centre back position. But we don't know what Thomas Tuchel has in mind, and especially now. But we have Koulibaly who can play there, and he showed against Udinese he can actually fulfill that role very well. But that's, by the way, Alonso needs to be fit for sale, so it's a risk playing him. Or in other words, 100%. It's a risk playing him. Sorry,
why?
100% on that last comment. He's fit to be for sale. I agree.
If he gets injured tied, you'd find it very difficult to sell him to Barcelona.
Exactly.
And who knows, will the deal still go? Go ahead, Ty, what did you say?
That means that they didn't want him then.
Maybe, but we're hearing that they can't register 5 players. Maybe they say, hold off first.
Yeah, but would you? But to be fair, Ty, would you? If Marcos Alonso was to be injured, say, right, would any club want to sign an injured player? I don't think they'd want him.
If they have one of the left backs, then I don't think they care. But it's
interesting.
But the point I'm trying to make is that if they don't sign him, then that means they never wanted him then, because we were desperate. We were desperate for a left back. We signed Ben Chilwell and we signed him injured. He didn't play until the Wednesday game. So
that's true. There's
some weird.
Yeah, Mikhail, you were saying something.
I have some good friends that are Barca supporters, and for some reason they have this desperation within the Barca camp to sign defenders, and for some reason they think that Chelsea's defenders are the answer. Maybe in their minds they're thinking the Champions League run, and like we that follow Chelsea day to day know we've fallen off those levels, and that's why we're kind of looking forward to actually getting fresh blood in. But it sounds like Barcelona is thinking Alonso's the answer to a left back, and I kind of had to bite my tongue there. I was like, yeah, sure, and they think that he's a solid option there. I mean, I don't know if they're playing a back three anymore under Xavi, but if they're playing a back four and they're thinking that they're getting Alonso as a solution there, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be quite interesting indeed. Again, if you're watching, we have 166 people watching. Please keep liking the video. Let's shoot for 100 likes by the end of the show. Mikhail, let me ask you one of the easiest questions on this particular show. Who do you think starts here, the right wing back position?
So many options.
He gets back to me one time.
Oh man, I don't know, man. Loftus Cheek,
Oh,
Joe. I don't know, Gallagher,
God.
Batshuayi.
Batshuayi. Imagine Batshuayi as a right wing back. Oh my God.
With Tuchel, I wouldn't put it past him. But I think it's the first game of the season. Hopefully, Reece James is up for it, and hopefully we see him play there.
Yeah, I think I think it's James. If we play Aspi here, then it's James most definitely here. Except if he's going to try, but I don't see him doing that. I was going to say he's going to try James as one of the 2-6s, but I don't see him doing that. He didn't try it during preseason, so why now? I don't see that happening. The DJ, but if Loftus Cheek starts here, I wouldn't be surprised either, because he's had joy playing there. He enjoys it.
Yeah.
Given that if you play here, you have a free role. Practically, you're a midfielder.
No, I can see that. I can see that argument, Cucurella. I can see where you're coming from, and what Mikhail's just said as well. But for me, tomorrow, it has to be Reece James all day long for me tomorrow. He's the natural guy to play in that position. If we're going to go with a 3 and we're going to go with the wing backs, he has to be the one that plays in that position tomorrow. As much as I do like Loftus Cheek and I rate him, maybe you can change that. Maybe you can change Reece James down the line in the middle. When you're making your substitutions, don't forget it's 5 substitutes. So if he's showing any kinds of tiredness and we're already winning that game, then maybe bring on Loftus and put him there. But for the start of the match, there's no argument for me. For me, it has to be Reece James on that side.
I'd go for James too, but Thomas Tuchel, like we established, he never ceases to amaze us in terms of how his selection. Ty, your thoughts? Who do you think starts there?
The one, the only Victor chooses.
Who?
Victor chooses.
Okay, I don't get it. If you're using a coded word, I don't know what that is.
What's that doing? Victor chooses.
Oh,
really?
So Victor chooses.
Why do you think so?
Victor chooses. Because we're going to want to be able to attack, and whenever we want to do that, we always play a Hudson-Odoi or a wing in that position. I think probably that's the reason. Now I'm just joking. Reece James is going to play.
I know he was. I was going to say not that
you play too much.
Oh, Ty.
He plays too much. Like I was thinking, this guy is serious, and then I was waiting for some delicious explanation on why he picks Reece James. Again, a lot of people in the chat agrees that James, and Chama here says she thinks Alonso will also want to take care of himself. He wouldn't want to get injured. I think the same too. But Ty thinks otherwise. Ty, correct me if I'm wrong. 3 or more goals in a must for Chelsea tomorrow. We'll see. I hope they put the chances away as they come. We're gonna win. I hope so. But I usually don't like it when our fan base sounds as confident as it's sounding right now. When I heard that Dominic Calvert-Lewin was injured, I didn't like it. Again, one reason being that Dele is more unpredictable. If you have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you know what you're facing. Plus, it was still I don't know about that mentality issue that we call the Charity FC. I don't know if we've been able to shade it or if it's still there. Because when you think we're going to mop the floor with a team, we end up losing. I hope that doesn't happen tomorrow. So again, James on the right, Kante, Sterling midfield, Havertz and Mount up top. We'll take it one by one. And thank you for all the great contributions in the chat. I will try to get as many as possible. Look at Fab recent tweets. What does he tweet about? Tell us. I want to know. I will be very happy if Chelsea sign Frankie de Jong. Watching you live from Ghana, Ebenezer, your last name, Ebenezer Itwiwa. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for telling us where you're watching from, and I appreciate all your support. I hope you're doing well. Mikhail, since I started with you again, I'll start with you. Let's go take it the 2-6s at once. Who do you what the pairing for you there? And if there's something if you don't say, I will ask you for your ID.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Assuming everybody's fit. It has to probably be. I'm thinking it's going to be Kante and Jorginho, and Koba might come on later.
If you don't say Jorginho, I was going to say, show me your ID.
No, it's just if you put yourself in Tuchel's shoes, I don't see him not starting Jorginho for the first game of the season. Once Gallagher and some of the others start showing what they can do, maybe there's a chance that Jorginho gets a rest. I'm not opposed to that concept, but I just don't see it happening first game.
So you're thinking that the introduction of the younger players will be a gradual process. We're probably not going to see them tomorrow,
unless I don't know if we categorize Kennedy as a youngster anymore, but unless he starts Kennedy somewhere, I think he's going to play it safe more so. So and seeing as the bromance between Koulibaly and J5, I think he's going to give them both a start.
That's a factor that will probably wield a great influence on his selection. Again, those two have a good relationship, and that will, I think, will improve the link-up play from the defense to the midfield and the attack. I think it makes sense. How about you, DJ? What do you think?
Well, in that, again, for me, in playing in that position, you talk about the number 6 and number 5 position. That for me it's got to be Kante and Jorginho for me.
It doesn't matter the placement, right? So let's go. Well, I think we all can agree Jorginho starts because he's pivotal to the way we play, whether you like him or not. When he's not on the pitch there, we find it very difficult to control the game. Ty, your thoughts, the two pairings, I think Mikhail said Jorginho and who? Mikhail, you said Jorginho and Kante, right? Kovacic will come on later. Ty, how about you?
Correct. Sorry, I was muted. Yes.
No problem, bro.
Kante.
Okay. How about you, Ty?
I'm going to say Jante is going to be playing.
Mm-hmm. And who? Oh, Jante. Okay, Jorginho, N'Golo Kante. Okay, how about those in the chat? I don't know how to combine the pairings. And what's the other pairing? The other pairing,
I'll tell you the other pairing would be if Chelsea are winning the match, okay, and they have to give players a rest. You know what I'll do? I'll take Jorginho and Kante off, and I'll put Kovacic and I'll put Chukwuemeka in that midfield tomorrow. Give him a go. That's what I'll do.
Oh, there's a chance we see that kid tomorrow, actually.
I want to see this kid play because from what I've seen of him, what a player he is.
He's reminding me of the physique and the way he carries himself. He's reminding me of Mikel.
Yeah, but I think he's more mobile than Mikel.
He's I tell you what, from what I've seen of him. And
what do you think, Mikel? Don't you think he's more mobile than Mikel?
Sorry, say again?
He's more mobile, as in flexible, if you want to phrase it that way.
No. When I say this, I just meant that he looks like he's a nice, tall, broad guy, and we've been kind of searching for somebody that kind of fits that kind of bill, right? Somebody that why do we keep going after talking about Rice? Because he's that big, tall, stocky guy that can just sit in the pit. Yes. So I kind of got that vibe. I haven't seen his game. I don't know how he plays, what his style is, but I'm curious to see him get a few minutes in the middle of the park and see what he does.
Yeah, but I think you're right. He's probably not going to start. To me, I think he has a mashup of Dembele dribbles. Yaya Torres glide in the midfield. One more thing. I'm not sure about his energy yet, but those are the two things. If he plays on the flanks, I think he doesn't shy away from taking on players.
He doesn't.
That's one thing I've seen about him. He doesn't shy away. Even if you have 4 people in front of him, he always tries.
He does. And the other thing he's got on him as well, he's got a good shot on him as well from distance. And I think that's the kind of player we're looking for that can score goals. I mean, I know this. People can also say, "Oh, what about Conor Gallagher?" I get he'll come on as well at some point in that because we've got so many options there now. But for me, I just want to see how this kid comes in tomorrow. If we're winning the game and he gets an opportunity to at least play the last 10, 15 minutes of the game, I just want to see what he can do in the Chelsea because I do believe I've got so much so much confidence in this kid. That we got him in, and I really think he can come and hit the ground running for us. But I know people are going to say Gallagher. What about Gallagher? Gallagher can always come on down the line later on if he needs to come on, and do something. Gallagher.
Yeah, well, again, Thomas Tuchel never sees it measures. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But go ahead, DJ.
No, I was just saying. Basically, I want to see him come on, and Chukwuemeka, and really, because as I said, I do have so much confidence in this kid, and I think he'll really do well for us. I just want to see what he'll do tomorrow. I think he'll surprise a lot of people. I think people seem to think that he might not get into this Chelsea team that easily. I, for one, think he's one kid that will challenge our midfield. I really do. That's how much confidence I've got in this kid.
In what position?
Honestly,
in what position?
You could either pick one of Jorginho or Kante, mate.
In what
Either
position?
One of them. Midfield.
What position?
Just 1 second. Can somebody, if you're in the chat and you're a mod, if you see anybody start talking about sending money to the channel, just block them one time so I don't click on it by mistake. But go ahead, Ty. DJ was still talking. Sorry.
Yeah, either he can go in for me. Either he can do the number. He can do the 6 or the 8. That's how much I think. One of the two, mate. Why not? Or if you want to play him further forward. Huh?
No. Why?
No.
Gallagher's a 6. Why do people keep? No.
I didn't say Gallagher.
Okay, Ty, let him finish. Ty. Then you can come in. Go ahead, DJ.
I'm talking about Chukwuemeka, bro, not Gallagher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chukwuemeka.
That's what I'm talking about.
Don't you think that Tuchel would probably try him in the front three because he can play as a winger as well?
He could play that. Yeah, he could do that as well. Yeah, 100%. 100% he could do that. Yeah.
And remember, guys, it's five subs now. So if the game allows it,
that's exactly it.
And that would accommodate Gallagher playing and Chukwuemeka.
Yeah, and Brozier as well. One of the subs to come on as well, mate. Because I don't think he will start tomorrow.
There's a chance he starts. Again, there's no telling what Thomas Tuchel would do.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know.
Yeah. Ty, go ahead. You wanted to say something?
No. You just said what I was going to say. So you can move on.
Okay, so let me try and catch up with some of the stuff we have in the chat. 65 likes while we have 191 people watching. If you haven't, please do take a second to like the video. And if anybody asks you to pay, tell them Liam Lane had already paid for you. It doesn't cost anything. Again, it says, it says Chuka and Kante in the midfield. Logic Dan sounds like he's an Igbo boy too. If you're a Nigerian and if you're an Igbo man, you'd call him Chuka. Given his name is Chukwuemeka. It says here, Fabrizio latest tweet is what I put up. You put up on the chat. What did I read it? Or did I miss it? Let me know.
Alonso news.
Alonso news, yeah. It was 3 minutes.
Okay. What did he say?
That probably fuels my theory that he didn't play tomorrow then.
Basically, you want to know about the Alonso news? I've actually DM'd you and Ty, to be honest with you. To have a check your DMs, and I've also DM'd Ty.
Okay, I looked at it, but my screen is you DM'd something about the deal getting closer, right? Yeah,
that's the one. That's the one for Alonso.
Yeah, I couldn't share it because it won't freeze my screen. I'm having too much issues in the past. Yeah. So we're correct. It's probably not going to start. Sterling on the bench. Are you trolling? Sterling starts.
Sterling on the bench now. He starts, man. God.
He starts most definitely. Again, quite a lot of rubbish in the chat. The scammers are really there.
Honestly, I think they just.
If you see the one they did in the money, even the software we use got confused. It couldn't stop it. It was coming as if it was an attack. Actually, how you doing, Coach? I just got my niece and nephew to sleep finally after hours of babysitting. Time to talk Chelsea. Yeah, it's coming. Welcome to the predicted lineup show. Thank you for finding time to join us. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. And I hope your nephew and niece are both doing well. Jorginho and Kante, I think that's the obvious choice there for most people. Lengua, Achapoya, Achuka, Gallagher, and Broya, watch out for them. I think 100%. Those would do. Again, there's a chance Achuka becomes a regular. That is, if he gets the chance to play and he takes the chance. Same thing as Gallagher. If he gets the chance to start a game and he takes the chance, then there's a chance he becomes a regular. It's as simple as that, because after all, again, we still have too many games to play. Jorginho and Kante takes the responsibility of the game. I think the two pairing, you can argue, are the two of the best if we want to be defensively cautious, because Kante is good at reading the game, breaking up opposition play, while Jorginho is, I think he's the best at helping us control the tempo of the game, frustrate the opposition, and something like that. So that's actually the best pairing there in terms of the 2 6s. But that's, by the way, Mikhail, I'm going to come back to you again, and I'm going to start at the 2 8s. That one isn't easy either.
Trying to think, who are we playing up top? That kind of sort of tells me where Sterling fits in. If we assume Mount gets a start, and if we assume Sterling gets a start, then it would have to be Mount in one of the 8 positions and Sterling in front, and then Havertz in the other 8 position, I guess.
Does the placement matter to you?
Probably Mount will probably be on the left and Havertz on the right.
I think, yeah.
I mean, they could move a step over, and Sterling could be on the left, Havertz in the middle, and Mount on the right. So it's just maybe they'll just interchange throughout the game. But I'm thinking it's going to be these 3, and I apologize for jumping.
But how about the 2 8s?
Well, some people have been talking about it being a 3-4-1-2 instead of a 3-4-2-1, but right now we have a 3-4-2-1 up. So with that in mind, I would think it has to be Mount and Havertz, assuming Sterling's up front.
Okay, let's just assume their position. Let's just play. Mount usually likes playing. Mount, he operates on the left or right mainly. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter, but I'd put him on the left if we have Havertz available.
Yeah. Plus, what we saw, given what we saw against Udinese, it looks like Sterling will have more freedom than any of those players on the pitch.
And it'll probably be fluid. So
yeah, it will be fluid. Yeah, more importantly.
What do I have?
Ty, let's say again, this is just Mikhail's. Let's come into you, DJ. What do you think? Do you agree with those two?
No, I agree with those. I just think for me, you probably will. He'll probably end up doing it the other way. It will probably be Sterling on the left, Mount on the right, and Havertz up top. But then again, I'm also thinking any of those 3 players, any of them front 3, could swap roles anyway. So you're looking at Sterling can go and play top if he wants to. Havertz can come back. Mount can go top if he wants to and come back. So either one of those 3 can all rotate. So for me, any of those 3 can do it. But for me, you probably would start Kai Havertz as your false 9, if you like, up front.
So Cucurella took my Havertz and turned it into Sterling.
Either way,
how you did that. I like how you did that, Cucurella.
How did I do that? No, it wasn't intentional. Maybe I wasn't listening.
I had to take a double take. I'm like,
I'm so sorry. Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
No, but that's okay, because it could end up looking like that.
And Mikhail isn't the type that when such happens, he becomes a gentleman and says, okay, let him just go ahead.
Yeah. So here's what I was thinking. The reason I wasn't putting Sterling there is that I saw Sterling play the false 9 kind of effectively in preseason. He kind of drops in deep, but then he's not messing up top when the ball's up in the box either. So he has that ability.
He's the guy with the most freedom.
Yeah, and he's mobile as well. He's more mobile than, like, he was noticeably more mobile than our usual.
I think Thomas Tuchel will bring out the best we've ever seen from that guy.
I'm really keen to see exactly that, and I don't doubt it, because he'll bring something new. He has that extra 10-15% of mobility that we kind of struggle with in terms of vertical movement, not just horizontally, but across the pitch. But like one minute he did he 1 minute he held up the ball and he passed it on the turn. He passed it out, and then he was in the box to receive it as well. And I was like, that was really fast. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that's Raheem Sterling. Like he's mobile. He is that fast around the pitch. So that's why I was actually refraining from putting him.
Excellent. Go ahead, brother. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you. His positioning, his anticipation is tuned differently. He's tuned to the Man City attack. Even Jesus in Arsenal, the commentators today were talking about the same thing, that he's tuned differently. He's tuned to anticipate faster attacks, and the anticipation is there. So these guys come from a very well tuned machine. So hopefully, Tuchel can kind of latch onto that energy and kind of urge everybody else to pick up the pace as well.
Yeah. So for you, it is Kai Havertz and Mason Mount. How about you, DJ? Your choices for the 2-8s. Let me ask those in the chat.
Yeah, again, I agree with everything Mikash just said, because they're the ones I would go for, as I said. But I guess for me, I'd probably, the only change I would make there is I'd put Sterling on the left and Mount on the right, and still have Havertz at top. But like you said, though, Mikael, they can play different ways as well. You know, he doesn't just come at you; he can play all different ways. But yeah, like I said, any of those three players can swap if need be. But I probably would start Sterling on the left, Mount on the right, and play Kai Havertz up top.
Here's one thing. We can actually get the front three correct, but maybe the structure wrong. There's a chance Sterling, Mount, and Havertz start, but maybe we're not going to get the structure right. Yeah. Possibly. We don't know. It's fluid, but one thing Mikhail said, and that I agree, it's going to be fluid anyway. So how they start actually doesn't really matter. As long as we get the three correct, I think maybe we'll see what happens. So, for you, DJ, you said it's who and who?
I said for me, it's going to be those three as you've got in there. You've got as we, I think we've all agreed. I think we all agree on it. I think it's those three that will be up top.
No, we all didn't agree, Mikael. You didn't see Mikael complaining that I turned into his.
Afterwards, when he agreed afterwards. But no.
Okay, I said agreed afterwards. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the only, as I said, the only change. It's exactly how it is as you guys have got it. The only thing, as I said, is I'll just put Sterling on the left-hand side and Mount on the right. That's it. I think stays the same. Apart from
I can see that too. Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be these two, then I can see Sterling being on the left. He's more or left.
I think they switch positions anyway. Again, so Ty, how about you? What do you think?
I honestly think that attacking players behind the player 11 will probably be the one tomorrow, but I mean, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, because you guys already made the point that the positions that they're placed on paper is not going to be the position that they'll always be in. So I'm not going to say that I want Sterling to be on the left and more on the right, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's again, there's a chance we'll get the three players up there correct. The structure could be wrong. I feel
like Sterling gets injured tomorrow. I don't know why.
Who?
Sterling.
Sterling. You get injured?
Yeah, I just have that gut feeling that Tarkowski will do something.
Oh man, I hope not.
Boy, you're just a prophet of doom. I don't know what else to call Where did you get that from? I thought Ty, he's so superstitious. Superstitious is not funny.
Don't blame me. Tuchel is superstitious too. Did you see what he said about that?
We're bubble wrapping Sterling tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just rub some oil on him. Say they can't touch him. Just rub some baby oil on him.
Oh man.
Man.
He's shining like some pound sterling.
But you know what though, he is super. I have to say, he with Ty, when he does his superstitious stuff, I have to say he is right with some of the stuff he's come out with in the past. Okay,
you mean who?
Remind Ty, especially about the
Champions
I know.
League. He was telling you in 1902 it happened like this, and he has a feeling it's going to happen like that in 2022.
I guess what? Since you speak about superstitious, here's what I'm going to say. We signed Marcos Alonso at the age of 24 and he's Spanish. We signed Cucurella at the age of 24 and he's Spanish. Yeah. You know what happened after then? I'm not saying anything else. If I speak out,
we won the league. I know that's where you're going to tie.
I didn't say anything. You said I didn't say that.
let's not go down the road of. Let's not go down the road.
Yeah, go ahead, DJ. You were saying something.
I was
Sorry.
going to say, let's not go down the road that Cucurella might turn out like Alonso afterwards. I cannot see that. Please.
Yeah. I think he's going to be very different. He's a special player. We have 184 people watching and we have 79 likes, which means we need just 21 more to get to 100 likes. I think we will hit that target. We'll have a few minutes to round of. Probably if we still have time, we'll take some questions from the chat. Werner and Sterling, it could be a nice combination. Werner isn't staying. He wants to leave, and I think he still leaves. But if he's still with us tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Tuchel starts him because he's still under contract at Chelsea. 2-5-2 formation. Okay, system where anybody can drop back and help defense. What do you think? I haven't seen us if that formation exists. It's one that I haven't paid attention to. I know you can. There's nothing we haven't seen in football. But I haven't seen that before, I have to be honest with you. 4-3-3 could work for Thomas Tuchel. Do we have enough now to switch to 4-3-3 system?
I don't think we still have a single pivot. We can't play a single pivot.
Yeah. I don't think we're ready for that yet.
I think you were saying that in the yesterday or the day before.
Yeah. And later on, I want to get your thoughts on his comments regarding fluidity. Like we've always talked, I think most especially I and Ty, it's like we're paid to talk about how Thomas Tuchel doesn't like traditional number 9s. I think indirectly, I think was sending a message to whoever listens. I don't know if that was the case, but he talked about how having a fluid attack, playing without a traditional number 9 has worked for Liverpool and Manchester City and all that. But that's, by the way, we'll get to that in a bit if we still have enough time. Vertical is upwards towards the sky. I don't. Is this guy a troll? Again, you could say that again if you really want to joke with it, but in football, when we say vertical, you know what we mean. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm so logic down. If you see his name too, I think he's into logic because logically saying that doesn't really make sense. Logic done, yeah. So because that logic doesn't really make sense if you pay attention to it.
I think he does football tactics in 3 dimensions. We only do it in 2 dimensions.
Yeah, that's it. 100%.
Yep. Logic Dawn does his in 3D.
3D. Oh man.
Yeah, Havertz up top. I think we'll come to that. That may well be the case. Havertz is the best choice up, given all the players we have. I'd give Broja a chance there, and they actually play what's his name? Havertz is one of the 2 8s. Again, that's me, but Thomas Tuchel does what he wants. He is the manager. I think there's quite a few comments there. I'm not going to be able to read every comment. I will try to highlight them as the speakers speak. I'm going to start with you again, Mikhail, here. And if you're in the chat, let us know who you think starts there. And for the choice of the pairing for the 2 8s, I think 76% Sterling and Mount. So that wins it. We're correct. So, Mikhail, for you, up top, we have Broja, we have Kai Havertz. Some people actually pick Broja because Kai Havertz has been poor since the preseason. Even not sure. Even when he had the chances to put away goals, he didn't.
That's a delicious thought there. Firstly, thank you for letting me go first through most of this.
Thank you.
Apologies to my other panelists. You know what? I would love to see Broja tomorrow, but not in a way where it's disrespectful to Havertz, let's say. So maybe I'd start with Havertz and maybe I'd bring on Broja later.
Yeah. For me, honestly, if we want again, but it's just that Mount's a present. His industry is important to Thomas Tuchel. That was why when he overplayed him last season, even when it was clear that his decision making was so poor in about 4 or 5 consecutive games, he kept playing him. But let me say, just to be safe, 3-4 games he kept playing him because he still give you that. You still see that industry. You still see that high pressing with energy and everything. But because he was tired mentally, he kept playing If not for that, I'd say I'd prefer the 2-8 to be Sterling and Kai Havertz, because Kai Havertz would do even more as the number 8. And again, it's easy to forget he's actually a creator. He's a good creator, but probably because of the issues we've had in the squad, he's played everywhere, virtually everywhere on the pitch, and that hasn't helped him, to cement a particular place. And we'll see. Okay, this guy is really really good at executing one particular position. So your choice up here, you said who?
It's Havertz. H-A.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Did you move Sterling away from the?
No, he's still there.
So then it has to be Havertz, right? You can't have Sterling in 2 spots. So
No.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Havertz. H-A. I'll help you through it. H-A-V-E.
Yeah, I can't spell. How do you know? I cannot spell. Oh my goodness. DJ, your thoughts. Again, people, if we're watching, just 15 more likes to get to 100 likes. Please take a second to like the video. Help us to reach 100 likes by the end of the show. We have just a few minutes to round up. Let me ask in the chat why DJ speaks. Yes, DJ says to smash the like button, people. Go ahead and do that.
Yeah, listen, for me, again, I'll say one thing. I do rate Brozier very highly as well, but I won't put him at the expense of Havertz tomorrow. I think Havertz, even though Havertz has been slightly poor this pre-season, I still trust on him, and I still think he's still a class act of a player, and I do believe he'll start. I think he should start tomorrow, for me up top, and then down the lines, if he's showing a bit of tiredness, I would even put Werner up top. I'd actually bring Brozier on for him afterwards, but Havertz to start 100%.
So your Havertz for you. I think Havertz too for me. Ty, your thoughts, who would you start up there?
He's tall, he's calm, and he is a player who is flary and silky. Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
You're just looking for a 5, and I'm not ready, actually. Just when you're done, let me know I wish for you.
No, seriously, Ruben Loftus-Cheek first time.
Why?
Because of the goal he scored against Udinese. He chipped the goalkeeper. That was delicious, actually. It's intelligence. It's not about power. That's one thing I like to see from goal scorers, and he showed that. But really, you want him. But you're alone on this one, actually. No, I'm not. I'm not alone on anything. I'm not.
We'll find that. And I didn't add them to the poll, but I think we have good enough.
Havertz. Michael Jackson said, "You're not alone." I'm not going to be alone on this one.
Here's the thing. I think the panelists will lose this one because we have 15 votes in the chat, and 60% want Brozier to start, while 40% want Havertz to start.
Well, at least I'm not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone, but more people want Brozier to start up top. I'd give him that chance. But again, like I explained, if it wasn't for Mount's industry, I'd start. What's his name? I'd start Raheem Sterling and Kai Havertz as the 2-8 because those again Kai makes good runs. And again, playing him as a number 9, again, I think it's a waste of his talent. Yes, he's able to make the most of the slightest of spaces he gets, but I need him to be as one of the 8 and not as a number 9, not in the number 9 position. Again, but we're not Thomas Tuchel. He does whatever he wants. Again, 181 people watching and 97 likes. We're about to complete the lineup, and then we'll go straight to talking of transfers for about how many minutes? Again, let's say it depends on how much time the panelists have, because it's late for DJ Sav, I'm sure. Mikhail, I'm sure. Okay.
I'm good, bro. Seriously,
all right, now Choma Yosef says smash the like button, people, and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you very much for saying that, Queen. I appreciate your support. Again, keep liking the video. Just 3 more to get to 100, and we still have 177 people watching. Again, Sam Z says, who's going to pass the ball out? Why did you ask that question? If who isn't where, who are you looking for that is missing? Can you let us know? I want to know because that's not complete.
Unless he's saying that Cucurella is not playing, so that's an empty space then.
Well, but we have Cucurella here.
No, I'm saying that maybe it doesn't start then. Maybe that's what they're trying to say.
Okay, we'll see again. And Lucky Omokaro says, I bet Werner is not getting a 1 minute tomorrow, and I don't think so. If he does, I'd be surprised, but we'll see what happens. Please don't wish an injury for yeah, Ty. That's for you. You started it.
No, I didn't
say anything.
Sterling. There's nobody's named Sterling. So I didn't say anything bad about Sterling.
You didn't say anything about somebody hurting Sterling tomorrow.
Sterling and Sterling.
Yeah, Tarkowski.
Ty, why are you trying to fry my brain now?
I know he's going.
Sterling play for a team called Charlton Athletic.
Oh, Ty.
I don't do that. Could Broya play? And that's a possibility. You never know, Thomas Tuchel. And the chat thinks Broya will play, and they win. They have more votes. 32 people have voted, and 56% want Broya. Sorry?
He's wearing a legendary Giroud number, so maybe.
What number did he take?
18. Giroud was
wearing 18. The kid is probably scared of the number 9.
No, he could have taken. Oh, never mind. Mason is number 19. It would have been nice. Costa number.
Did Costa wear number 9? No, 18. Wasn't it 18? 19. Okay, yeah.
19.
Okay, yeah. So that's by the way. Looking at the chat says 56% still. I don't think it's. I think it's it. I think it's done. Broya for them. But I don't think Broya starts tomorrow. But you can't tell what Thomas Tuchel would do.
He has his first start for Chelsea against the team that he got his debut against. How poetic that would be.
Yeah, here's the thing. Logic done. I like this guy already. Did you see how he phrased the question? He ended it with, would you approve it? It's not up to me. I know you know that already, but I enjoyed reading your comments in the chat. Again, I would like him to come. We need a balance of experience and youth in our attacking area. I think we have a youth now. And if Aubameyang, if Thomas Tuchel still speaks good of him, it just simply means they're still in good terms. And the question is, would Barca want to sell? They can't register new players, so why would they sell the ones they have already?
If he ends up staying at Barcelona, he's not going to get a game because Lewandowski is going to take over. Lewandowski.
Yeah, but you have to register Lewandowski first.
100%. The other thing also is if Aubameyang was to come to Chelsea, what does that do to Broja? Does that mean Broja leaves and goes out on loan? Because that's what will happen.
No, I don't think so.
One striker. Come on, I thought you knew better than
we can play two strikers up front. You're looking at, actually,
it depends. But it only depends though. But it depends if Timo, because he might then decide to keep Timo Werner instead. And that's all I'm saying, Ty. That's my worry. I'll rather Broja stay and Timo Werner go, if that has to be the case.
All right. Mikhail, you have anything to say to that argument, or should I just go ahead and catch up with the chat?
I think the thinking at Barca is just coming from speaking with the Barca fan today, is that they see Auba as a rotation for Lewandowski. So as a rotation option for Lewandowski. So whether Auba likes it or not, and I think Auba knows his place in the scheme of things now that Lewandowski has made the move. But and if they're going to sell anybody, it might be Depay. So that's from their perspective that they'd probably want to sell Memphis first.
You want him?
Do I want anybody from Barcelona right now? No, I want them to stay in the logjam they are, so they can register nobody.
Yeah, 100%.
That's not nice. Agreed. But here's the thing about Mikhail. Forget what we wish to happen to them, because we'll beat her if you want to say it that way. Would you take Depay?
Would I take Depay? Depends on Depay's price.
Depay is a rapper. He's not football. Like we don't know it.
DJ Memphis.
That you can say his love for music and how he is the word rigmarole correct with musicians, African musicians, all that. That's what he likes the most. You could say, I mean, that guy has the potential to be one of the best in the world, but it doesn't look like he's paid much attention to his career as a footballer. It's half and half, 50% for him wanting to be a rapper, 50% to him wanting to be a footballer.
He reminds me of Chris Jericho.
Break the walls down. That Chris Jericho, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
But here's the thing, the poll. I'm going to leave it for a while. Let's keep having conversation. Let's see if it changes. It is 53 votes right now, and still 57% of the votes want Havertz to start and want Broja to start and not Havertz. So let me quickly catch up with the chat. I think we'll take a few transfer questions there. I'll talk about it, then we'll call it a day. Definitely Broja and Gallagher to come off the bench. That may well be the case. And I see that Broja have no chance to play because we have on the bench Werner, Pulisic, Acho, and Ziyech. One thing he has about all those guys you mentioned, except Werner, he's quicker than the other three. Yeah, I think he's Cho, maybe not, but I think he's quicker than them. And it's more versatile than them. He can play as centrally as a number 9. He can play on the flanks, left or right, wherever you want to. And he's physical too. But that's by the way. I'm not going to get into that argument right now. He is a troll. Yep, I get it. But that's by the way. What a tie! Are you serious about RSC? Ty was joking. That's trauma.
Man, you need to like. I mean, I don't want to say this again, but something horrible happened to me. I need some joy right now.
Yeah. Loftus-Cheek would be better right wing back, a backup rather than a striker. I wouldn't even use him as a backup in the right wing back position. He's fulfilled that role before, and he did quite well. The only issue is that when you play him there, we lack defensively. Maybe if we can find a solution to that whenever he bumps forward, the 2 6s, whoever that's playing on the right hand side, becomes more disciplined to make sure the space that Loftus-Cheek leaves if he plays here and goes up is covered. So again, it's something I know Tuchel is capable of doing, but that didn't happen against Real Madrid. And I think their comeback started with that. Was it a well at home? I can't remember which one exactly. Says, let me see. Havertz is about as good as Werner in hitting the back of the net. Yep, I get that, Dan. I understand the argument there. I think he hasn't done quite well of late. But I think that changes now. Excuse me. Oh, thank you. Oh, okay.
Bless you.
Quite a few. I don't know which. I'm going to scroll. Just leave it and then be highlighting them as the panelists speak. Yeah.
What people are working on overnight? For who?
What's that? Paperwork. Oh, done too. Must be back
Just working overnight to get the paperwork done. For who?
Must be for Cucurella.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's not.
No, I don't think so. I think he must be a troll.
No, he's not being confirmed yet. He's not being confirmed.
Okay, here, Tom, some person says the Chilwell is not starting unless the paperwork is not complete. But okay. Oh, he's not a troll. Now he talks about the paper. It's been completed. He's been announced as our player. Yeah, and as we heard, he's available for tomorrow's game.
When was he confirmed?
It was, hold on, it's on the Chelsea. Let me have a look on their Twitter. I thought it was all done. It's on the website.
If it's on the website, then it's done.
We announced them. We're talking about Cucurella, right?
Yeah, here we go down south. Now you're telling me that that's the website.
Did you guys see the video? Cucurella's video?
Yeah, I saw it. I think we're mixing up something here.
Yes, he's wearing the Chelsea jersey.
Yeah,
he's saying how
he's photoshopped.
He's got the they're showing him signing his contract as well. He's on the Chelsea.
I think everything is in place. Maybe a bit of mix up from Tom Golubevis. Maybe he's not up to date with what has happened. The paperwork is complete. His sign is available. He's trained. He's trained with his teammates too. And here says what this don't disrespect Chris Jericho and compare him to the pay.
I'm not focusing on their professional career, but their music career.
Oh man, music career. I know.
To become a musician, and Depay is a musician. So I'm saying that Chris Jericho and Depay are so still because they never focus on their professional careers.
I didn't even know this
but
was a thing. Like
Mikhail, jokes aside, the player has issue. He has to decide whether he wants to be a musician or a footballer. I'm not kidding.
I didn't
Seriously.
even know any of this.
You should see people joke about him. They say maybe we should get him to drop a diss track.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You know what would be beautiful? Depay coming to do a diss track about the rapper Lukaku. Yeah.
You know what?
Lukaku raps too.
But do you know what?
So
Have
rap battle.
Have you guys actually heard Depay? He's actually good at his music. He's actually good at rapping. Do you know that?
That's the problem. Maybe that's what he should continue doing and forget football.
I have to say that. Maybe he's
so Coachella, you're saying you're a fan? You actually want him?
No, I don't want him. I want him out of football. Concentrate what probably necessary. Music can be distracting.
Are you trying to
honestly,
free up his calendar so he can record more?
Oh my goodness!
I
But
didn't
seriously,
even know this was a thing.
Honestly, Mikhail, DJ knows music. It's time consuming.
Yeah,
especially if you're trying to write. You're not just playing an instrument. You're trying to write rhymes and all those things as a rapper.
I don't know.
I've seen 8 Mile.
I don't actually rap, but I do like my own lyrics and I do write things. I try to do things, but as I said, I DJ with my brother, my best mate. My brother's best mate is actually the one who's actually writing music now. And he says it is time consuming. But me, I've not got into that side of it all yet. I just do my normal mixing and my sounds, whatever I usually do.
So the pie maybe should reach out, maybe join Rock Nation. Jay-Z can help him. He's already popular, Nation, so it's gonna be easy for his album to circulate.
Honestly, bro.
But that's by the way. The other time, brother, thank you. That added. We've been having fun here, but that added to the fun. If you haven't, please take a second to go check out his YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Broya for 39, dangerous number 9 is our house. I think he gets. I think he will score some goals for us this season. September 2 will be a global crisis between Barca and Leeds United. That story from Leeds president, that shocked me. But that's, by the way, we're not going to talk about that now because it's a whole lot of story. Have we talked about it for Fofana for 80 million? Yep, we'll get to that in a bit. We'll start the transfers with that. So to do that quickly, I'm going to scroll to the very, very bottom. Apologies to you if I missed any of your comment. Okay, this is aligned with the Fofana story. I'm going to highlight it. And this one here, what does it say? But to register for the match against Everton, I think I get what you're talking there. Barcelona are closing in on Marcos Alonso's deal. Barca and Chelsea are finalizing the agreement, working on the last details in order to get a deal completed very soon. Well, but they have registration issues. I'm not sure how they're going to deal with that. So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Apologies if I miss your contributions in the chat. I will try the best I can, to look at your subsequent contributions. The Other Time podcast says a rap battle versus Alphonso Davies. Maybe he's another one that likes music too, but I don't think he's into it like the pie. Again, he focuses on his football in life. The pie, you could say 3 things. You don't know if he wants to be a model, or if he wants to be a musician, or if he wants to be a footballer. But he has that talent in him, so he needs discipline maybe. And this is Ty Talks sharing his YouTube channel, TyTalkzCFC. Please, if you haven't, take a second, go check it out. Do subscribe to help him grow. Sorry,
that was an accident. I didn't mean to click that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. But it's the link to your channel, right?
Yeah, I was trying to delete the Bitcoin thing and accidentally said that by accident.
It doesn't really matter. Just forget the bill content. The software, the police software will take care of it. So again, thank you for 107 likes.
Just been deleting the tweets.
Yeah, it's been doing its best, but sometimes it can come across as salty to some people. Somebody asked me the other day, Coachella, who is this non-Chelsea salty Chelsea fan deleting people's messages? Because if you use all caps, it deletes it and all that. Again, that's
who are you? My evil twin.
Yeah, it can be very salty. Again, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate all the support. Now, let's go into transfers. But I don't know if I should end the poll yet. 81 votes. Still, Broya leads is 56% to Havertz 44%. Should I give it more time?
Yeah, it's up to you, Cucurella. I mean,
all right. Let's talk transfers. But before we round off, I think it's important we don't forget. Let's talk about this guy here. That's from what I'm hearing. Let me start by talking about some of the tweets out there that if you try to, dissect and deconstruct the tweets to understand the information you're looking at, your brain will fry. Why did I say that? First, it says Chelsea are willing to meet Leicester City's 85 million asking price, but they're gonna go in now with 70 million.
What? That sounds so far-fetched. So you're waiting to
Is that 70 million and is that a 70 million and a player maybe to make
Mika, did you hear that?
So you're willing to pay it, we're gonna go with less and let people know it.
You know the surprising thing.
It's gonna be a player.
You know the surprising thing. The tweet will have like 3 million retweets and 5 billion likes. Are people even paying attention? Wait, you're willing to meet the 85 million asking price. What's the need of going in with 70? And if this is out there in a tweet from a Twitter journalist, and you think Leicester wouldn't see it, and Leicester will say, okay, just give us 70, while knowing if they reject the 70, you come back with 85. Duh. I don't know. Mika, your thoughts, please. Let's take it one by one here.
Oh, they're getting even more creative. I was seeing another tweet today where it was like Chelsea are interested in being, or Chelsea are contemplating, or what was the word? But it was like 3 degrees of guesswork involved in the tweet. And of course, it's getting retweets and stuff. Chelsea are interested in showing interest in possibly pursuing a player.
What?
Oh.
Seriously?
So I'm like, and this was like a known name. I think Pies or Pace or PYS or whatever they go by. And I'm just looking at the tweet.
He tweets and some stuff like that gets me confused. But go ahead.
And not to name names, but I was just like that. If anything, is trolling our own fan base, right?
Possibly. Like, what is the meaning of it? It just doesn't make sense. And people are retweeting it, liking it even more. Like
the more ridiculous, the more attention you get.
Yeah.
So it's a joke at this time. It's like one of the the ratio thing. It's like that. It's just like I can tweet something out and look what happens.
But let's get the jokes aside, and I'll come back to you, Michael. DJ, your thoughts on that tweet?
I don't know where to sum it all up, mate. It's a strange one.
I'm going to try to find it.
They're willing to. So let me get this straight. Yeah, they're willing to meet the 80 million price tag, right? But yet we're willing to spend 70 million on him. Is that right? Is that what I'm
Let me explain it. It says clearly. Please do help me see if you can find that tweet.
Oh my!
That Chelsea has indicated. That Chelsea has indicated that they're willing to meet Leicester City's asking price of 85 million.
Yeah.
Now, but they're going with 70.
Oh my goodness! You sure that wasn't a mistake someone made in a tweet when they said that?
I don't think so. Then delete it. Like, what the heck is that?
It's supposed to be. What did they put?
It's like-
75? Did they say?
It's like whoever was walking the 85 over pocketed a few.
He come from Cucurella, he's dying.
Oh
I'm good, Ty. But Ty, did you not see that tweet?
Yeah, and I was like, what? Oh, wait. So
Yeah.
you're willing to pay the 85 million, but you're going to go with less.
And probably if that is in a tweet, which means Leicester already knows that Chelsea are willing to meet the 85 million. Then what are you doing going with 70?
That's a trolling. That's a troll. Someone's definitely trolling. I mean, what? So they're going. So 85 million. And they're going at 70 million. I mean, come on. That's got to be someone trolling.
Yeah,
Or is that some?
No, it's everywhere. It's one. Ice shared it. Someone else shared it also. It's not just one person.
Let me find that tweet. Yeah.
Leicester. They're probably saying that. Oh, Leicester City are stupid, so they'll accept.
Oh, is this the? Okay, is this the one? Is it the one? Chelsea reportedly willing to meet Leicester's 85 million valuation of Wesley Fofana, but want him want him for cheaper if they can. Is that the one we're talking about?
Let me see.
That's the one I've got. That's the one I've got.
Oh, no. Did he say anything about going in with 70?
No, all it says here is that they want him for cheaper. Cheaper. It says they want him cheaper if they can.
Yeah, even that one doesn't make sense too. They're willing to meet it, but they want it cheaper. Then what? Well, Leicester City is okay. Come take him for cheaper. Even that one alone, that one as it is phrased, doesn't make any sort of sense.
Listen, if Brendan Rodgers went on his press conference today and clearly said, I know he has to come out and say it, right, that these players are not for sale. But let's be honest, with a club like Leicester, every player has a price. Yeah, we all know that with obviously Maguire. We know that with obviously Ben Chilwell, right? And if they've already said, okay, he's not for sale, but again, it's this whole thing of saying if a Champions League club comes in him and is willing to spend that money that they want, they'll have no choice but to sell. Right? That's exactly what they had with Cucurella. Yeah. Okay. So the situation with Fofana will be the same thing. But if someone's gone out and already said from Chelsea they're going to beat the 85 million valuation price, okay, and then someone's coming in and saying another tweet that they'll get him for 70 million, then listen, all they're going to do is cause some mayhem with Leicester, and Leicester just going to look at us and think, what the hell are we doing? We're not going to negotiate with you guys because you guys are just taking the P. Yeah, obviously I can't use that word.
Where does the 85 number come from? Is there like a buyout?
It's just Leicester they didn't quote a price. I think exactly that's a good question. Where's that number from? Because Leicester are saying they don't sell. Then who's quoting the price?
It's got to be. Surely it's got to be someone.
You sure? Okay, let me check how much they have him for on transfermarket.com because there's a chance the person that started spreading that rumor went on transfermarket.com because it gives you estimate.
The thing is that I was looking at transfer market today for Cucurella, and he's listed for $30 million US. So I think we overpaid.
Look at how much you're paying for him.
Oh, man. Well, apparently we've been told.
And to further add insult to injury, the next thing I was thinking was, how much did we buy Chilwell for? Actually, less.
50 million, wasn't it?
So we're buying the backup for Chilwell for more than we bought Chilwell.
Oh my god!
But I think he's a better player.
It's not a backup.
That's how I see it.
He's not a backup. I see him as almost an equal, if anything, but if not even ahead right now, based on fitness and form.
Fofana is listed as 44 million here.
44, 45 for Fofana in a normal market, I would say is probably fair value. If Sterling is 45 million, why not Fofana? But where does the 80 come from? I don't even know. Like, I understand we threw away 100 or 97 for Romelu Lukaku, and what's 80 if we can do that? But
did he not sign a new contract, Mika? Did he not sign a new contract last season for Leicester?
I've heard that
until 2027. Yeah, we've talked about that a zillion times. Here's the thing. I think what I want to ask is this: is it possible that clubs actually they do use these, especially the Twitter journalists, to engineer those rumors? to probably set the stage for them to be to be better positioned for negotiations with the buying club, because usually the prices they quote, it end up coming something close to it or even more than it, or in some cases the exact amount. So how is that possible? If they're not communicating with the club one way or the other, how are they able to get those numbers correct in most cases?
Well, there's always the hallways and the walls have ears. How does Matt Law come up with his stories, right? So there's somebody walking the hallways that steps into the into the closet and hits him up.
Oh my!
But what I wanted to ask, and this is not related necessarily, is how did and again I actually like the fact. I'll preface this question. I like the fact that we did or Boli did whatever he had to do to get the Cucurella deal done. He showed intent. He was willing to overpay in the interest of getting it done, and I think that was the correct decision. However, I'm still struggling to wrap my mind around how did they blackmail us into overpaying for their player to hang on to our own player.
Oh God!
Do you know what somebody said in the chat in the morning? The reason why we're paying that much money, we're paying them to develop Colwell. Ty, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
So again,
why can't he go somewhere else? Like if it's that,
Yeah.
It's such a bitter pill for them to swallow.
It just doesn't make sense.
I'm just trying to put my imagine I'm a fly on the wall in that room where this went down, and I'm just trying to understand what kind of conversation led to this solution where, I'm going to pay you more to hang on to my own player. I mean, I get it. I get the fact that he forced the issue by overpaying. I get that part. I just don't get how Colwell was part of. I mean, it was kind of done around not selling Colwell and hanging on.
But jokes apart, Mikael. Jokes apart. We've argued again, especially Bobby came on and was able to convince Rodrigo, who'd already agreed that Fofana is injury prone. I think he has every right to argue otherwise. But my concern is those things on the record, on that stuff you shared with me, they're chained. They are practically. I don't know how somebody can see it and tell me that his injury record will not be a factor during the negotiation process.
100%, and that's kind of where I'm questioning the valuation.
Well, by the way, Bobby agreed that that's the kind of numbers you use to get the player.
I can understand
pay a lower fee.
That it's an impact injury, and it's not necessarily because he's injury prone. It's just that he had a bad tackle and he had another bad tackle. He has 4 knee injuries listed. At some point, it's not just bad luck. It's okay. Maybe there's a problem here.
The knee one has repeated.
Correct, and it's 4 times. It's not even 3; it's 4. So it's like, okay, this is not, at this point, it's what did they call it? It's definitely not coincidence, and I'd be surprised if every one of them is unrelated. There's only 2 knees and 4 injuries. There's got to be some repetition.
Yeah, it's not that simple. And again, I don't. Do you actually believe that we're trying to go back in with 70 million pounds, and Skriniar is available for much less?
It makes me sick to the stomach, but we're past that now because we've thrown away 100 million on Lukaku. Like we don't even have him anymore, and the money's just gone into a void. Like it's just money we threw away. So at this point, if we're getting Fofana for 85, at least I'm hoping he's at least going to stick around and play. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So there's levels to this, and I just don't think Fofana is like worth that much necessarily, but it's maybe us being desperate and maybe the scouting team feels strongly about what he can bring.
That's exactly what you've just said, Mika. I've said this as well because they know we're in the market for another centre back. the price automatically will just shoot up to where it is. I mean,
100%. And Boli's showing Boli's actually showing a lot of character by playing this game. He can just as easily shut shop and say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this. But he's actually playing along, and he's like, okay, fine, you guys are trying to twist my arm, but right now it's more important for me to start this dynasty or this reign properly and make sure I set this club up for success. So I actually appreciate what they're doing. They're overpaying, knowing full well they're overpaying for players that they picked up. Not necessarily all of them, but in this scenario, yes, Cucurella for sure. They paid more than they planned to, and I actually appreciate the fact that they still went through and got it done, because the morale boost and versus the morale hit, it would have been for them not to have closed it. I think it's more like at the start of the season they needed a win, and this for me personally, throughout the summer window, I've been waiting to hear us sign wingbacks, because last season was our excuse was our wingbacks got injured, hence our season derailed. So if you're gonna go into the new season with the same staffing, then there's a problem there, right? And it's a problem in planning. So the fact that we went in for Cucurella is to me signals that they're willing to have more depth in that critical position on both sides. Keeping Aspie, I think, is part of that as well.
Here's the most interesting thing, I think, Boli and his group, I think they've done so far that impressed me, is they're going for young players. They're not just buying experienced players, they're also mixing it up. So I think they're planning for longevity here. That's one of the words I can't pronounce. Again, they're not just for short-term success. I think they're planning for the future at the same time. By getting in a Chukwuemeka, another player from Brighton, a left wing back player, is it a left back? And there's the one that joined us from Arsenal. There's Slonina. Lots of young players are coming in.
There's two more. I can tell you there's two more to come in as well, but I can't say too much on them. But there's two more apparently.
No, you don't have to say, but you get my point. These are your thoughts on you see here. I think he has a plan in place.
Yeah, he does, and I think if you remember when he first came when he bought the football club and he put his statement out, he did say what he was trying. He was not only just sign players that are obviously upcoming. Players that are obviously experienced players. He's also going to be looking into bringing in upcoming young talented players as well. To build for the future, and it's not just obviously for the Chelsea. It's not obviously going to be for the Chelsea first team, but also for the youth team. But I think from these players that we've signed, if you look at the two players that we're talking about in the last two signings that we made, in fact, three players that we signed, the youngsters. Well, I think all of them have all been put on 6 year contracts. I do believe Cucurella's 6 year, Chuameka's 6 year, the goalkeeper Slanini's 6 year. And I think the other two that we brought in from Brighton and Arsenal, I do believe, are all on 6 year contracts. Whereas you got obviously Sterling and Koulibaly, who are not.
The feeling with the youth purchases is it's like you can feel that these are targets that they are acquiring that they want to have in the first team squad at some point, not like yesteryear when we were buying youngsters just for the loan army and our academies, and we knew when we saw the announcements that this player is never going to make it probably into the first team. So that change, that slight change in approach, because of course the loan regulations are changing, so they have to adjust. But it just shows that vision that they're trying to, like, it sounds like the profile of the players that they're trying to get. It looks like, in a couple of years we could see them in the first team, if not immediately. Sorry, I think everybody's speechless.
Yeah, I was speaking actually, but I was on mute. Again, if you're watching, we have 156 people watching, and we have 117 likes. That's not easy. Again, if you haven't, take a second to like the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I think we've gained nearly, you could say 20 subscribers this evening. So we're at 5,300 subscribers, which means in a few days we may well get to 6,000 subscribers. Again, I'm going to end the poll. But let me catch up with the chat, and then I'll get your final thoughts, and we can call it a day. DJ is probably having a battery issue because he uses his phone. Says, would you say the Leeds was worth the money Bayern paid for him? Depending on what they're looking for. Like the Bayern president came out openly say, yes, they have good defenders, but it's something, he said something in the, the sounds like they're looking for leadership at the back line, and the Leeds has that. Even at this age, he was able to captain. He captained the Juventus team that had Chiellini and I think Bonucci too. Both of them, correct me if I'm wrong. He's got that leadership quality. He's a born leader. So to them, to us, I don't think we lack that right now. And I think it wouldn't make sense to pay that much money for him. And then plus we have, all the players that we want to bring in. Plus I'm hearing we had to, forfeit the pursuit of his signature because we heard that he was more interested in joining Bayern than come to us. So those factors, I'm not sure which way, there's no way to confirm if that's in fact the truth. So if you're watching again, keep liking the video. 120 likes right now. So thank you. I cannot thank you guys enough. J-Town Boy says, I'll pick up all. Well, how long would Bally give it to Tuchel without trophies after spending all this money? He's a smart man. I think he understands it's a transition period. And Tuchel himself, you could argue, we're being strategic. We're being strategic with our spending. We're being strategic with given the players we're bringing in. We're not just throwing the money at the problem. We're making sure that any player we're bringing in, suits will fit into the manager's approach, preferred approach to the game. If that isn't the case, Koundé would have been a Chelsea player right now because we signed him. If we're serious about getting him, he'd join us, but we pulled out because we had doubts about his profile, whether he fits how the manager wants to play.
Cucurella?
So that shows you that we're being strategic. Yeah, go ahead. You wanted to say something.
Did you say Cucurella?
Okay. Yeah, Cucurella fits perfectly the way the manager wants to play it because he likes our wing backs. Again, I say this all the time, but that to me because I think it's the truth. The manager, his application of the 3 at the back system, some people think will play 5 defenders. No, I don't think that's the case. The primary responsibility of the wing backs isn't to defend, but to attack. But yes, they're required to join the defensive aspect of the whole thing whenever they can, but just to make up the numbers, not because they really need it there. But that's by the way. Here we have Chama Yosef saying good night, everyone. I hope Chelsea wins. I hope we win too. Again, we've all been through, a lot this period. The sell conundrum, the sanctions on not just on the owner, the restrictions on the team that stops us from talking to players when other teams were busy, trying to get trying to get players to sign for them. We were allowed to talk to them, but never not to sign them. So those things were issues. Plus, what we've been through this transfer window also, if we lose tomorrow, I won't even check my Twitter alerts because it's going to be crazy. So in my opinion, looks like Leeds, Southampton, and Everton will be this season's whipping boys. We'll see. And what does he mean by whipping boys? I'm not sure. I haven't heard that term before.
Meaning that
as long as we don't start with Charity FC right at the beginning and change that, because if you remember, we kind of breathed life into Everton's climb back up out of relegation. So I don't want to do too many favors now. I think we're done with doing favors for them. I want us to go in tomorrow, no nonsense. The game isn't won. The points are not won till they're won. And that means that we have to go out there and earn them. They're not going to come to us. I think we get complacent just because we're Chelsea and somebody else is not. And that's the wrong mindset for the fan base, and that's the wrong mindset for the team. I think everybody has to go fight. And if you think about Chelsea of yesteryear, we had players that were match winners. They used to read the situation and understand what needed to be done and get it done. And lately we're kind of more like a bunch of players that, if the system works, it works. If it doesn't work, so what? we lose. And I think that we need to have that mentality switch, and getting some fresh blood in is hopefully going to maybe help with that and get us into a mindset where, if we see the game getting away from us, that we're able to snap ourselves out of it. You talked about leadership, and I think that's probably what we're missing then, in that sense, that when we're in a position where we're one goal ahead, we get complacent sometimes. Or when we
argue
score,
that's one of the reasons why the club doesn't want to let Aspie go, because it will get worse if we let him go.
It will get worse, exactly. So 100%, and this, I think, is kind of for me as well, as I'm saying it. It kind of highlights the importance of leadership, that we don't have a leader that can actually nip it in the bud, or even before it happens. That we've just gone and scored. Like, remember the goal of Rudiger last season?
Mhm.
What a magnificent goal! And what happened to us right after it? Right? We just switch off, and that's when you need leaders on the pitch. That's when you need people that can help you dial it back in, force each other. So Koulibaly coming in, Silva being there, Aspie being there, you have some experience there. Hopefully, that can then be vocal more and more as we grow into the season, with the rest of the team in front. But it is a challenge, and I don't see us fixing it quickly. Still, I mean, it'll take time to get the right kind of personalities all up and down the pitch to kind of stop giving points away unnecessarily, and we've been doing it over the past couple of seasons. Games that we should have done and dusted, we end up either drawing or losing sometimes, and that's kind of sort of what the things that I want to see us correcting in the new season. It's like Tuchel saying, same players, same problems, right? So I don't know if it's going to change, but first game of the season, I'm hoping to see an effort to make sure it doesn't, we don't slip up, and we go for the 3 points.
Yeah. Let me see. DJ says, DJ, is this the old one you're talking about?
Me? No.
You said
What did I say? I was just
no. You said you sent me a DM. Is this something new? Okay, it's a Barcelona thing. We'll talk about it.
It was a Barcelona one. Sorry, bro. Yeah, so it was a Barcelona one. Sorry,
No,
bro.
you don't have to be. So it's an update. It's just that I couldn't share my screen then.
Yeah.
That was the issue. I thought maybe you sent me another update. I would have just read it to the audience. So DJ, your thoughts and everything we talked about. I'm still gonna come back to Mikael to give us his final thoughts. And Mikael, you haven't told us, what do you think the outcome of the game will be?
No, listen. Who are you talking to? Myself? Would you still want to speak to Mikael?
Well, you can go ahead. DJ.
No, listen. For me, look, everything Mikael's just said, I agree with. I think at the moment, a lot of these so-called pundits out there. I was just watching the game. I just listened to them beforehand today. Gary Neville's and the other guy from the Liverpool guy, Jamie Carragher, already written us off. They've already told us we're going to be the team to slip out the top four this season, which I find, despite issues whatever we had, I think people got to realise why we currently still things are. We're still currently world champions, and and even though sometimes we may not play like it, we still, as far as I'm concerned, we've still got a team that can still go out there and do the business. I think what Mikael was saying is 100%. What we've lost is a killer instinct to finish off games. When we go 1-0 up, rather than go and search for the second and third goal to finish off the game, we seem to just sit back and let opposition come up against us, and then they start, getting goals or whatever it might be, causing us problems, and we start going into panic mode. I think this season we've got to put that right. I think the players that we've brought in so far, excellent signings. We're not just talking about for this season, but we're talking for the future as well. I do believe there's more to come in, and I do believe, Sky have already come out and said their predictions that Chelsea are going to slip up tomorrow. So we've already been given this already by all the so-called experts out there that are already writing Chelsea off. And the one thing about us is, yeah, we've had it torrid. Yes, we've had a tough time leading up to the end of the season. But if everybody heard what Conte's press conference was yesterday, and he was giving us some praise, he goes, you can't believe that people are actually writing us off. He goes, you're going on about Manchester City and you're talking about Liverpool. What about Chelsea? He said, they're still a team you don't just write off. And, again, I'll go exactly what Conte is saying on that. And I do believe we shouldn't be written off. We just got to show this season that killer instinct. When we go 1-0 2 goals up, we defend. If we need to defend, we defend. But we win the game. And I do believe that will happen this season. Again, like Mikhail said, leaders is what's needed and required. Aspi, Silva, Koulibaly, Jorginho, all those kind of players that I've got voices on the pitch, and they just need to make sure they bring it together when we're actually on that upward trajectory of winning a game. We continue with that. So yeah, everything Mikhail said I agree on. I just think that we've got to go starting with Everton tomorrow. We've got to win and try and, if we can, win convincingly tomorrow, because we have got the players to do it.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Mikhail hasn't given me what he thinks the outcome will be. I'll come back to him in a bit to tell me that. I know you're not into predictions, DJ, but here's the thing. I agree with this argument here. In fact, it is a delicious comment, actually. Tom Goluberva says, I'd say we have too many leaders. Aspe is too quiet to be a leader, but he leads by example, if you want to phrase it that way. Thiago and Jorginho wanted to be leader. Thiago is a leader. Jorginho is a leader. In fact, Thiago doesn't even need to speak to lead. Jorginho, when he maybe when he newly arrived, he was always vocal. Maybe that was because Sarri wanted him to help implement his preferred approach to the game. But that has gradually gone away. Again, you could say, maybe responsibility, maybe we have people who can lead, but they haven't taken that responsibility. Maybe that's a problem, but I just don't know what it is. But it needs to change, really, for us to become even better. I think one big applause for me, at least, is the fact that Kante seemed to be 100%. That's the truth. That's the truth. And we saw how much of a difference he can make in the game against Udinese. What I saw in Udinese's game was vintage Kante in. If he can stay fit and he will be a massive plus for us. I think maybe we'll play him cautiously. We'll learn to manage him. I think he's a player of his caliber. You could say you don't sell him because he's 30, 32, 33. He's just find a way to manage him. He's always got something to offer. And we're talking about the same Kante who was half fit when we won the Europa Cup under Sarri. He wasn't fully fit when we won the Champions League with him. And these are games you could argue were won in the midfield. But that's, by the way, thank you for that delicious comment right there. It says Chelsea to win 2-0 tomorrow. I hope that happens. 3-0, that's too much. I hope to see somebody saying we'll lose, and then that shows me we're going to win. But I hope we'll win. Chelsea were slow and indecisive in the transfer market. A statement by Sevilla after we lost Kunde attests to that. If you read the statement very well, you should understand that we actually put out of the deal. We didn't want him. We had doubts. If you paid attention to it, so that's not, to me, doesn't show we're slow. So Victor Arayere, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join us today. I haven't seen you in a while. Please do let me know that you're fine. Now that we have lost all our first options, no, I don't think that's the case. Anyone we get now will be overpriced. That's where I agree with you. Maybe you could say we're desperate, and since teams do know we're desperate, especially if we're talking about defensive players, they know that we're losing players, so they're gonna try to make the most amount of money they can from us. But that's, by the way, again, I'm gonna read that in the final one. I think I'll be done with the comment for the day. We don't have a Drogba or Diego Costa to put the ball in the net. Mount was our leading scorer last season. Again, we don't need a point man. We don't need a case where once we get to the final third, we'll be channeling our efforts to score goal through a single individual. That's a problem for me. Again, I don't want that to happen at all. It's a problem, and Tuchel doesn't do that. And if you listen to if you watch his press conference, he praised fluidity, referencing Manchester City and Liverpool, and is a manager that's known not to play with a traditional strikers, even when he has one of the best in the world. Everton has covered injured. They only got a Townsend filling in. This should be a breeze. No, that's when I'm concerned, because of the charity FC factor. And I hope you understand that. Chika Dibia, nice to see you, my Niger brother. Our team is okay, but if you see our Champions League against Madrid, we needed to fix our attack. Then the lads needed to put in more Then 100%. I think you could argue that too. Do you think we need a new striker, or do you think Broya and Havertz would do? I think those two would do. But if we can get an experienced striker, experienced high-breed striker to be precise, then I'd like that. But if you're talking about getting a traditional number 9, forget about it. It's a huge risk. That Thomas Tuchel will frustrate the life out of that person. If we get a traditional striker and he gets it to work, and agrees to adjusting the system to accommodate the player, then questions will be raised. Why didn't he do the same for Romelu Lukaku? But that's by the way. Imagine losing Koundé for 55 million now, buying Fofana for 80 million. Maybe Fofana fits what he wants to do better. We didn't lose Koundé. We pulled out of the deal. If you again go check the transcript of that interview with Monchi. But that's by the way, Ty, your thoughts on everything we've talked about today. We talked about, because I think that's where we end it. We end it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ty, I can hear you.
Okay. The game against Everton is a game that I think will be difficult. It'll be a game where we'll have to see what happens. I am not confident in the attack, but I'm hoping to be proven wrong. I'm going to just get my prediction out of the way now and say that we draw the game and it's going to end 1-1. I'm just going to say it's going to be a draw. But I hope I'm wrong, but I just see it being a draw. The other thing is that for me, this whole Fofana thing is madness. We need to just make up our mind. Are we going to pay the money? If we're not going to pay the money, we go elsewhere, or we simply just call it a day and we move on. Because it's this whole thing is frustrating and it's annoying. We've wasted so many times.
It's mentally draining.
Yeah, we wasted 2 weeks on Rafinha, and then we wasted 2 more weeks on Koundé. I'm not ready for us to be wasting time, and then deadline day we see Fofana coming through the door. I don't want to go through that.
How about the argument that it looks like there's a pattern to how we've signed players this season? Maybe Thomas Tuchel, he likes to what's his name, Todd Bowley, he likes to just create distraction somewhere, and you're paying attention there. Boom, another player comes in from somewhere. I think it's become a pattern, but go ahead with what you're saying, brother.
Yeah, there's a pattern.
That's what I'm thinking. Do you think so?
Yeah, there is a pattern. We normally, it's for me. I really don't understand it. I find it to be a weird coincidence that the players that we see or hear that we're not really interested in, we waste most times on, and the players that are not being mentioned that much are the players that we sign in little to no time. Koulibaly the news fell the news died down about him, and then in a matter of days, rather one day, we heard that the fee was agreed and we got him. Sterling, there was only reports about that in June, and then early July we signed him. So I mean, this is an odd thing, and I find it so strange because for Rafinha, we apparently was going to be a bonus signing if in terms of we don't necessarily feel bad if we miss out on him. But at the same time, we wasted 2 weeks on him. So to me, that makes no sense. If you don't think the player is that much of a necessity, why waste 2 weeks on him? And then the same thing with Koundé. We're hearing that Tuchel was not a fan of him per se in terms of his height, in terms of what he could he could have offered. So why waste 2 weeks on him? I really don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand it. To me, it makes no sense. If you don't want the player, you don't waste time on them. That makes no sense. It makes no sense because I don't know. This whole thing is confusing. But like I said, this club will bring you on a roller coaster, man. You'll have up.
Oh yeah.
You'll have up moments and you'll have down moments, and then you go around and then you come back to square one. It's a mad thing. But I mean, I hope people don't think I'm being negative, but I just think we're gonna draw the game against Everton, I just see it happening. Lampard just find the answer against us and then celebrating at the end of it like he did.
I think the answer he gets is a simple thing. He targets our midfielders, especially. But if Kante is playing, we'll be all right. So you think we'll draw that one? To me, I think we'll win it. I don't think we'd concede.
Tomorrow, you said that last time I was right.
Sorry?
Remember when I said we would concede? And we did concede. So
yeah, I don't think I've looked at it. If this lineup we have here, if we have Koulibaly there, Silva, and to the right we have Aspi, I don't think we'll concede. If Calvin Lewin is yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Ty. I thought you were saying something. Okay. Logic Don says, I disagree about not needing a number 9. A genius number 9 will adapt to any style. A number 9 who's good on the ball. A number 9 who's not static in the final thought, who can move around, participate in the build-up play. Tuchel will take you anytime, any day. But we don't want that traditional number 9 who's always static in the box, waiting for the ball. I don't want to name names, but I think that comment there is pushing me to name names. If you look at Lewandowski, if you cross the ball, whether on the carpet or in the air, even though the ball is already in motion, if he senses that the defender ahead of him will get to the ball before him, he will adjust his position. Even Cavani does it. But one brother doesn't do that. And that annoys the heck out of me. But I really don't want to. I really don't want to get into that right now. You get my argument. The wasting in a key strategy for some other clubs because they don't want their competition to strengthen. That's the truth. So, Mikhail, coming to you, you didn't tell us what you think the outcome of the game would be.
Firstly, big up to Ty. Even though he's young, sometimes he says things with a lot of maturity, and I was kind of struggling with not coming across as too much of a downer, but I'm hoping for a win. But my head says it's going to be a draw, probably 1-1.
Oh my goodness!
And there's a reason for that. I'm not saying that we're not good enough to win. I just feel that there's a lot of disruption within the camp right now. There's a lot of players that might be leaving. There's some players that probably want to leave, and there's some players that have their heads turned because they don't know if they're coming or going, and it's not the right atmosphere to go out and put out defensive master classes. Like that'll come.
So you don't think we have good enough harmony to be able not to concede?
I just don't see it coming this early, especially after what we saw in preseason. So yes, if we hang on to the ball, they may not get a chance to come at us. That doesn't mean that we're defensively strong. It just means we're avoiding putting ourselves in that situation where we have to defend by hang on to the ball. So the battle will be won and lost maybe in the transitions and maybe in the turnovers and how we deal with them. It's going to be interesting because Lampard kind of sort of knows how we tick. So he's gonna come in with his own ideas about what he can do to hurt us and how we deal with it. Sometimes I get the feeling that we're too proud to adjust in the moment if we're being found out. Yeah, I may be wrong in saying that. I just sometimes get the feeling that we're too stuck in our ways, system-wise. Sometimes a situation may call for a change of systems, whereas we may just dig in and not change and try to see it out, which takes character as well. And so, as fans, we were more knee-jerk in our reactions during the games, where this is not working, let's change it. Whereas a manager has more expectations of seeing it through, seeing an idea through. And if it doesn't work the first 5 times, maybe the 6th time it might work, and maybe that'll be worth it. So, but it takes time. And Tuchel does make a lot of changes, and the team does play in a fluid format where the shape keeps changing throughout the game. I just think that for us to perform at the level where we can expect to win will take time. Right now, it's the first game of the season. I'll take any points. just knowing that Everton can be a tricky place to go, it can be a bit of a banana peel game for us.
It hasn't been a good hunting ground for us for a while.
Yes. So I don't know what to expect. I'm not going to disrespect the opponent by saying we're going to win. I want us to win, but realistically, I'm thinking maybe a 1-1 might be a fair result based on the form I've seen of Chelsea. I don't know what Everton are up to right now. We could just go there and blow them away as well, and I'm all for that. But if Everton do show up, and if they do have a plan, usually where they get us is they overcrowd the midfield. And we're so stuck in playing a two-man midfield that sometimes when they put three in the midfield, we struggle. But we won't change our system to have somebody drop back into midfield. We'll kind of still try to persist and still try to keep the ball and still try to spread it wide. So those are the things that I'm talking about when I say that something's not working. Maybe we're a little stuck in our ways sometimes. And that's a good thing, and sometimes it can cost, like we saw in the Sarri era. Like you can believe in something strongly, but then you're going to end up some days leaving points on the table.
Yeah, Mikhail, thank you very much for that brilliant contribution. I can't thank you enough. I'm just happy you found time to join us this evening. So thank you again. With that, I'm going to say again, thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to Raz 3D. Thank you for joining us. And again, PB Talks. Hey, bro, good to see you. Big up Mikhail in transit and Tampa. Oh, you're in Florida. I can come on for a few minutes. We're rounding off already. All right, I have to go get my voice. Again, sorry about that, bro. But maybe during the Blue Morning Show or another evening show tomorrow. Again, anytime you need me on your channel, just let me know. Nice to see you here, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. And thank you to MC Rada. Thank you. He says we're winning 2-0. Thank you to Logic Don. Everton whipping boys. Lampard will let us win. You think? Cucurella, hello, my brother. Hello to you too. Again, I'm going from bottom to top. We're winning 2-0, says Michael Ebuka. Okay, we'll see if that happens. The beautiful games. One of the biggest supporter of this channel. I can't thank you enough. This panel is crazy. Been listening to Gary Neville too much. We're winning this. Okay, if we do, I'll take it. I'd love the young, but at the same time, my number one target is Rice. We really need a DM. If we want to play with a 4 at the back system, which I would prefer instead of a 3 at the back system, we'll see what happens. Maybe there's a chance we'll still get Rice this window. I don't know. We don't know. Thomas Tuchel has proven to be a man with so much surprise in his in his pocket, if you want to phrase it that way. It will be 3-1. I'm thinking 3-1-2. So in my opinion, that we need to revamp our midfield. I think we need to do that. We need midfielders who can contribute, who can score goals to create more chances. Okay, Victor, I'll check it out. Thank you for providing that link. With that, we've come to the end of the show. If you have time, please go to Twitter. Check out Mikhail. You see him. You see his Twitter handles there. Follow him. He's not getting paid for being part of the panel. He just loves the club. But at least the least he can do is to go follow him, help or beef up his followers number. Do the same for DJ Sub. DJ has something cooking, maybe, but you'll be part of it. Just pay attention. Follow him on Twitter, so whenever that is ready, you'd be part of it. So thank you. I cannot thank the panelists enough. It's been a brilliant show. A lot of laughter, a lot of respectful argument, counter argument. That's what makes it a great show. And I cannot thank you guys enough. I hope to have you guys on for another show anytime you have time. Thank you. God bless us all, and bye.
Up the chest. Bye.
Take care, boy.